Let's get nasty on a Tuesday. It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, and Anthony Stalter. 201, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. How about them Cardinals last night?
Go Birds, baby.
Damn right.
Birds
well,
on the bat.
The red birds.
Yeah.
Two of them specifically on a bat.
Yeah.
The Lou, baby.
Yeah, the Lou. That's right. Darn right. 6-3 winners over the Orioles. And, boys, we are finally starting to see this offense come alive and have it be a lot more consistent than it has been at any point during the year. As of right now, it's still a shorter spurt, but it is a stretch that kind of began in the middle of May when they beat Milwaukee 4-3 on that Sunday. You could tell things started to, that was a game where they came back. Paul Goldschmidt had a nice couple of ABs to round out that weekend series against Milwaukee. They dropped that series, but that was the first time we saw this offense come alive. And since that point, they've averaged 6.1 runs, have batted 296. They've reached base on nearly 38% of their at-bats and have slugged 454. So this is an offense now where we have tangible evidence that things are starting to point in the right direction. And last night was another prime example of that. They hung 6 on the board.
Yeah, they're creating offense, and if we isolate last night, Goldie and Arenado didn't have a hit. So you're generating offense with the guys that are your depth players or whatever. And I'm not suggesting that Arenado and Goldie are in some kind of a cold spell here right now. Just last night in particular, it was impressive for the Cardinals to put up the amount of runs that they did and create the offense that they did while not getting contributions from, the big boppers. A lot of the other guys, man, are carrying the load right now. And it's weird because the offense is kind of being spread out throughout the lineup, which is obviously ideal for a ball club. But if you get offense from multiple tiers within your lineup, that's exactly what you want. Now, most of the time you don't get that consistently because there's a reason there's a top of the order and a bottom of the order. Some guys just aren't as gifted offensively. But right now you're getting contributions from everybody, including Superbad with his first home run last night.
Yeah, but
We'll take that.
We'll take that. I think, you talk about mid-May when this kind of turned around. Now, you tell me if these things correlate. Paul Goldschmidt got his first hit May 11th. The last at bat, they lost 5-3 that game against the Brewers. The next game is when things started going. His first hit in May was May 11th.
Right.
May 12th is when they started having games where they started performing well, performing better, hitting the ball. And so, in my opinion, if your big bats, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, are having success, you can have a game like last night where they don't get a hit because they have been having success up until that point. So it's an off day where they're not good, but the guys around them are good. But if you're going to rely on the guys around them the entire season, you're going to get the results you saw at the beginning of the season. They're not going to be good because your best players have to be your best players, and they have to hit the ball, and they have last night notwithstanding. So, I think that's kind of it gave them a shot in the arm and started going and starting to have success. And that's what they need. They need Paul Goldschmidt. They need Nolan Arenado. They need them to be the superstars that they are for this team to win games.
Well, Alec Burleson had 2 hits last night. Was the bottom of the order that got things done. Donovan had a hit at the top of the lineup. Other than that, Nootbaar was 0 for 3. And Nootbaar has been very good of late. I mean, you look back since May 12th. Nootbaar has picked up things offensively.
Him and Burley have really carried a lot of it.
Certainly. But he was 0 for 3 last night. Goldschmidt 0 for 4, did score a run. Arenado 0 for 4. But Burleson, two hits. Herrera with a hit. Winn with 2 hits. And we will spend some more time on Masyn Winn because it's far past time that we show some love for a rookie that has played exceptionally well. I mean, outstanding defense. But offensively, he has been consistent as well. And then, of course, you had mentioned it before, Siani, Superbad, 2 hits, including the big home run. The bottom of the order came alive. And I loved how after Gunnar Henderson hit yet another home run to cut into the deficit to make it to 5-3, in the 7th inning, that's when Winn singled, scored Goldschmidt to make it 6-3 and kind of put the game out of reach from there. They added runs late. It wasn't just this early surge, then the wheels came off and you hung a bunch of zeros on the board for 7 innings or so. They added one late, pulled ahead, kept the lead, and that was a great win last time. And the Orioles, 29-16, they're legit.
with this Cardinals offense just operating the way it is currently, I'm not asking for much more, but just let's say it stays consistently around this kind of output, which obviously you'll accept. Like, does it change the way you look at this team now? Because I'm not putting the glasses on.
Sounds like it.
No.
Hand him to him.
No, I don't want him.
Go ahead.
No, I don't want him.
No, Anthony, he sounds like he's ready.
Anthony, I do not want him.
He's made a transition.
That's fine.
I'm proud of you.
I would just put him right there for you.
Listen,
First of all, that's personal choice. But second of all,
it is.
I do not want to touch the glasses because I'm not there yet. But what I'm saying is we have been very critical of the Cardinals this year. We have been. And with just cause. They have not played good. But they're playing better now. And when you watch this offense start to pick it up a little bit, along with the strong defense, you just brought up Masyn Winn. He's a bit of a game changer now in the middle of the infield. Nolan Gorman's had a good season defensively. Your corner guys, you think you're going to get a Gold Glove performance from them.
And Arenado's been great.
Arenado's been great. You look at the standings again, and they're 2.5 back in the wild card. Like, as bad as they've been, they're 2.5 back in the wild card. Now I put that side by side with the offense that they've carried here in their last, 7 or 8 games. And I start to think, damn, like, it is possible that this team squeaks into the playoffs. And I don't know if that would make the fan base happy or pissed off because of that. Like, I think that's where we are right now with Cardinal Nation is I think you'd get half the people that be like, no, that's not what I wanted. Now they just get to squeak in and nobody gets fired. This is not what I wanted. Then you'd have the other half that say, see, told you guys, told you, be patient.
Oh. Jamie, I'm proud of you.
Available.
You answered that text last night, didn't you? That you up text from the Cardinals. You did.
Wow.
You did.
Is that what's going on?
It texted you around 9:30, 9:15, 9:30 p.m.
Here's what
and
happened.
you said, yeah, I'm up. How you doing?
Here's what happened.
That's what he said.
The phone went off.
He's talking playoff.
And I told Ashley, I said, Ashley, you deal with that one.
Okay.
And she said, honey, you don't even want to know. I said, okay, fine. Probably was them.
It was the you up text.
Now, if it comes tonight, after another victory,
You're going to answer.
you bet your sweet ass I'm
Wow. They don't even have to get back to 500 for you?
He's up. He's up.
They'll have won 7 games in their last 9. Come on, Anthony. They deserve at least a little, text back.
Jamie, I'm so proud of you, man.
I'm only human.
Cheap date.
Jamie, the point you made about some fans being irritated or some fans being excited, I think that is a normal reaction when you have a team that's in the middle. We don't know exactly if they're going to have a stretch where they're going to become the team that we want them to become, or they're sort of just going to play 500, or if they end up just not playing well after last night. We just don't know about this team, and I think that's the reaction that you're going to get, people on both sides of the fence, when you have somewhat of a middling team, at least at this moment.
And two, I mean, you do have to factor in. I'm not making any excuses, but let's be honest about this. Wilson Contreras has been your best hitter.
I forgot about
He's
that.
out with a broken forearm. Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt are well below their career standards, especially Paul Goldschmidt. Tommy Edman is in witness protection, and Jordan Walker's in Memphis. So those are guys that the Cardinals relied upon, or were going to rely upon, to carry the offense. Instead, again, other guys, what happens? Does somebody step up? Lars Nootbaar has stepped up. Alec Burleson has stepped up. Masyn Winn, despite being a rookie, has stepped up. Even Michael Siani. I know Siani offensively hasn't been great, but you didn't expect him to come in and play well. He has kind of replaced the young kid there. Victor Scott, who we all wanted to see at the start of the year.
Just a little something on Superbad here. Our guy BK loves his numbers. He tweeted this out. In the last 45 plate appearances, the slash numbers for Siani: 349, 364, 442 with an 802 OPS.
So he's hitting.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
Not bad.
Ivan Herrera has stepped up. So who steps up? These guys have. And hopefully, Carey, going back to your point, there will be a moment where Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado and Wilson Contreras will carry the offense again. But in the meantime, somebody's got to step up, and we've seen it now.
Yeah.
So it's good. But I'm not I'm not answering any text at this
Jamie,
point. Come on,
if they
we
win
gotta
tonight,
I
we gotta
think
get to
Anthony's
500.
denial.
We gotta get to 500. They don't even text me.
Anthony's the type
They
that's
do
going
text
to.
you.
No,
You
you're
just
going to
don't
reach
respond.
out for their number. You're going to, hey, Jamie, you got that
You
number?
got the number from me? I want to see what they're doing.
See what they're up to.
Is Anthony the type to now?
Lonely.
I feel like we all know somebody who you want to get somebody's phone number, but you wait until you're in a group chat with them, and then you're like, there we go. That's my in.
So piecing it together.
Add me in. And then he'll side text them on his own.
Hey, just check it in. Just check it in.
You creep.
Making sure everything is good on your end. Yep.
So we just talked about the offense. What
In
about
case
the
you're wondering,
pitching
this is Anthony Stalter.
from last
I
night?
have a show on ESPN.
How important is it for an athlete to know that they're done or they can't go further? We saw last night. We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
If you are looking to replace those old, nasty windows that you have right now around your home, or maybe they're just not efficient at all, that hot air is just leaking in and that money is just disappearing from your wallet because you're paying for extra air conditioning. No, stop doing that. Call my friends over at Window World. They are the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. They're also ranked number one in number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. And one thing that you need to know about this group is that they have been owned and operated and managed by a group of born and raised St. Louisans here for over 21 years. They take it very seriously to put a great product out there, provide incredible customer service, and they do a lot of great things in the community, too, raise lots of money for different charities. They are awesome over there at Window World. Let's not forget, too, that they offer a fantastic window that's got the extra strength and that durability that keeps that hot air and that cold air out. Let's not forget that they also offer a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor, and right now, you can get 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. And all you have to do is call over there. Tell them Jamie Rivers from 101 sent you. That number is 314-993-1800. Again, that's 314-993-1800 or visit windowworldstlouis.com.
He's done. We knew we'd go lefty there to be Mountcastle. He's pretty good against lefties, so you weigh that. But, yeah, Sonny did his job. He was cruising, man. I think 57 pitches through the first 5 innings, and then ran into a little bit of some non-plays and tried to pitch out of it. But he did more than his job. I mean, those first 5 innings were absolutely elite.
I felt like it was just the right thing to have someone else come in and try to finish that inning, as much as, I want to be like, man, I'm tough. I just thought it was the right thing. And I don't know if he was on the same, I don't know. I was just kind of saying like, hey, I got nothing left.
So the first voice you heard was Ollie Marmol, manager of the Cardinals, and then the second voice you heard was Sonny Gray, who went 5 2/3 last night, allowed 3 hits, 3 runs, 1 of them earned, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and of course the home run was hit by Gunnar Henderson. His fast line on 101 ESPN. How important is it, guys, that when you know, like Sonny Gray was talking about, he knew he was done. It wasn't a competitive thing. He was just listening to his body. And he was trying to make sure that with a excellent game with a 5-3 lead, that he was going to give his team the best chance to win. So he put pride and ego to the side. There's times where he has talked about him looking over and seeing some rustling and hoping that Ollie wouldn't come out to replace him and take the ball. But last night, he just flat out admitted it. Yeah, I was done. And he was honest with Ollie about it, too. How important is that?
Yeah. This is one I really wanted to talk to you guys about today because I find it very interesting. And Sonny Gray's your number 1 pitcher here. He's obviously a very wealthy man. He's performed at a very high level, which probably makes him a lot smarter than me because I never listen to my body. Ever. Like my body's like shutting down, like basically like put a fork in me. I'm done. And I'm like, no. You got 1 more shift in you.
Wait. So you,
for me,
the man who wanted to get back on the ice after dying in basically a vet hospital.
Correct.
In Croatia.
In Croatia, of all places.
Okay. Yeah.
The man who tried to get back on the ice but wouldn't be insured, and that's the only reason why you didn't get back on the ice. You would have a problem saying that you were done and listen to your body. Okay, got it.
So now that you
I wrote that down.
Now that you've set the table, having had some time to reflect on all of those things, it's probably the best teammate thing to do when it comes to the sport of baseball. The pitcher is such an important piece of the puzzle that if you let that pride or that ego or even just that inner warrior in you, if you let that carry the biggest voice and you're rubber arming it out there and you cost your team an important win because you thought, well, I'm just going to muscle through this. Because remember, Chris Carpenter, those guys used to muscle through things like this.
It took a rib out.
Yeah. So I think it was I think it was a very responsible thing and a very good teammate thing for Sonny Gray to realize that and also have confidence in the guys in the bullpen that they could get the job done. I mean, Carey, I'm interested to hear your take on it because I don't know if you had the same conflict as me at first when you saw it.
Well, I think to me, it was if he felt like he couldn't go any longer, then it was the right decision. Because what it does is it gives your manager the ability to say, okay, I can trust you. I can trust you in both ways. Like when you're done and you're gassed, you'll tell me. And when you tell me you got more juice left, then I don't have to trust my own eyes. I'll just trust you. I'll believe in you and say, you know what, you are a person that is honest, open, and going to give me the right answer. So I'm going to trust you in this moment. So I think it really just builds a better foundation between him and Ollie and the coaching staff saying, we can trust this guy. If he says he's got it, he's going to go out there and compete. So I didn't have a problem with it. I think at times athletes, we are extremely stubborn. Same. Like I would not let anyone know that I think my rib is broke, but I ain't coming out this play. I'm gonna give myself a couple of more plays so that person doesn't know that shot almost killed me. Like I feel like I'm dying inside, but there's no way I'm gonna let him know that. So let's go on and continue. And that's the mindset of athletes is we just push through. It's a gift and it's a curse. And so he was able to give him the right information, give Ollie the right information. So I didn't have a problem with it at all.
So I actually, having dove into it a little further last night, I thought to myself that this really does create a good culture. because when you've got your number one pitcher, who everybody on that team knows, like he's been dealing this year, a couple of speed bumps. We're not going to isolate that, but from the moment he got to spring training, he started doing some different things, wacky things, calling out his pitch, calling out the time of the game, like doing stuff that guys like, this is kind of fun. He might be crazy, but we like him. And then his first couple of times out there, Ollie comes out to the bump, and he shoos Ollie back to the dugout. Says, I'm good. I got another batter. I got the rest of this inning, whatever. And then this time here, he looks over, gives the nod, little with the glove. Ollie comes out, takes him out. I think what it does is it shows the rest of the pitching staff and the younger players and the other players, like, do what's best for the team.
Right.
No one's going to sit here and judge you. Everybody just wants to win, so do what's best for the team, even if that means you have to sit out an at-bat, even if it means you have to pull yourself out of the game as a pitcher. I think it creates an interesting new vibe for that clubhouse.
Then think about what it does for the pitcher that's coming in after him. Like, he's basically saying, I trust you to get this job
100%.
done for me.
Right.
And so now Jojo Romero's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, our ace is saying he ain't got it right now. It's up to me. So you're not only, you're building confidence in the coaching staff, but you're building confidence in those bullpen pitchers as well, saying, hey, I trust you to get me out of this situation right now, get us out of this situation. So I think it does, Jamie. It does build confidence throughout the entire team.
It's a really interesting point you made about Ollie being able to trust him the next time he goes out there, because I do think that there's no question that Sonny Gray's got the competitive fire. So if there is a moment where he knows he's got a little bit more to give and Ollie comes out and looks him in the eye and says, hey, I'm thinking about replacing you. How you feeling? And Sonny Gray goes, I got one more. You can go back to this moment, like you're saying, CD, and say, all right, I trust you. Yeah. Now, it doesn't always mean that's going to work out, but the last two times that Sonny Gray either stayed in a game when it looked like he could get replaced, or there was a moment where he flat out said, I'm good, I'm done. Both times have worked out.
Anthony, we lie as players. Like, we lie. You good? Yeah. Your leg is dragging. Nah, I'm good.
Why are both of your eyes in the same socket?
I don't know. I'm good. Are you okay? Yes. Don't ask me again. We will lie to stay on the field, to stay out, to stay in the game, whatever the case may be. We're going to lie. But for him to say, you know what, this is not, I don't have it in me right now. I want to. It's not for me. That's not quitting. That's him saying, you know what, there's a player in the bullpen that is going to be better in this situation than I would right now. And again, it gives everyone confidence.
So speaking of the bullpen, we get a text to the Air Comfort Service text line. Again, jump in anytime throughout the show. 314-399-9646. We get one from the 314. It says, didn't we get on Helsley for saying he couldn't go out 2 days in a row? This is different. Helsley was saying he couldn't go 2 days in a row because he didn't want to overthrow. It was more of a personal choice. It wasn't that he was run down. It wasn't that he was unable to. He just chose, or this is allegedly, because I wasn't in the clubhouse, allegedly that he chose that he would rather not pitch 2 days in a row. Well, guess what?
He was worried about his effectiveness.
But guess what Ryan Helsley does now?
He takes the ball.
He takes the damn ball. So we were right in critiquing him for that, but now he takes the ball. So if Ryan Helsley now says to Ollie after one game where he threw maybe a couple extra pitches and the next night says to Ollie, listen, man, I'm not your best choice tonight. Now you can trust him.
Yeah, it goes back to what CD was just saying. It's a great point. It goes back to what CD was saying. If you take the ball consistently, you do have that bulldog mentality. Give me the damn ball. Nobody else. The ninth, to me, it's also different when it comes to a closer and a starter. When you as a closer, you don't want anybody. I highly doubt if we get Izzy on the line right now. Izzy. He would say that is my inning. That's my half inning. I don't want anyone else to have it.
Yeah.
That's different. So like you just said, Jamie, if it's Helsley and he's pitching a couple of days back to back, and then they start to string it together, and he goes, listen, my arm's feeling a little bit. You're right. He's established that trust now, and Ollie was like, okay, he must be a little fatigued because I know he wants the ball right now. So he's doing what's best for the team. It's all perspective. All right, we got the lineup out, so we're going to play the lineup game. We're going to play the lineup game next for tonight's matchup here on 101 ESPN.
The Medicine Shop in St. Charles needs to be your first choice when it comes to your pharmacy and what you need from your pharmacy. And fellas, if you are currently using ED meds and probably paying too much, I know, the little blue pill, that gummy, Stop paying too much. Visit the Medicine Shop in St. Charles. They are your destination for cheap ED medicine. And they've got a generic called Sildenafil for less than $2 a pill. Fellas, prescription is required, of course. And they also offer a unique program where they will give you free, discreet shipping and delivery to your home or your workplace of any regular medications that you need. So if you're busy and you can't get to the pharmacy will come to you. It's a program that I use, and I absolutely love it. And I also love stopping by the Medicine Shop in St. Charles whenever I have any questions about allergies or cold, or maybe there's some bumps or bruises that I'm unsure of how to treat. The Medicine Shop in St. Charles has you covered. Call them my pharmacy family because they take such great care of me, and they will do the same for you. So please, if nothing else, please go visit them or visit them online at stcharles.medicineshop.com. Again, that's stcharles.medicineshop.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cards beat the Baltimore Orioles last night by a final score of 6-3. They'll take on Baltimore once again tonight as Lance Lynn takes the mound going up against Kyle Bradish. 6:45 first pitch. Last night, the Edmonton Oilers, they hang on 3-2 victory over the Vancouver Canucks in Game 7 of the Western Conference semis. Game 1 of the Eastern Conference final in the NBA is tonight, and the Boston Celtics take on the Indiana Pacers. Pre-game starts at 6:30, and you can catch all the action right here on 101 ESPN. We have the lineup game coming up next, so stay tuned for that. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Sounder means it's time to play the lineup game here in the Fast Lane with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. The Cardinals, the Orioles, Get it on again tonight at Busch Stadium.
Can I say something real quick?
6:45 p.m.
Carey, you're always free to speak.
We got
That's
a
America.
message yesterday saying because we went through the lineup so cleanly that we must have cheated. Let's just get one thing clear here. We do not cheat. We take care of our business. Shame on that texter for accusing us of said things. We are professionals, and you should listen to the days when the Cardinals don't have a lineup that we have no clue.
You were going
what
to say
is.
it. If you didn't say it, I was going to say it. Like at any point, you could go back to us taking an absolute butcher knife.
We're 5 or 6 deep before we get the leadoff hitter.
And then we're all out of sorts.
The other
then
thing,
we're just naming players past,
are they
present.
still on the roster?
right? Yeah.
We start to panic a little bit.
Yeah. One of us at one point said Tony Cruz. He hadn't played for the Cardinals in a long time.
Another one of us at one point had 10 guys in their lineup.
Yes.
That doesn't.
So now,
I thought it was the Rover in softball.
yeah. This also applies to the Gauntlet. It is not fun for us to cheat.
No. It is.
It is more fun for you to have some confirmation, you the listener, to have some confirmation, even if you already know it, that we're all idiots. And these are our moments.
And, sometimes we don't know that 3,000 is a lot for a certain
Yeah, like games played in the NHL, even though guys played a lot. Or a lot of stolen bases.
Oh, you should.
Well, I had one.
You didn't know the Heartbreak Kid, so you can take a step back. Okay,
No, but what was your tiebreaker? What was your tiebreaker
It
one?
was the Tom Brady question.
That was
where
already-
we already mapped out how many yards that he had thrown
That's
for,
right.
and then he proceeded to give him less yards.
Yes. I did.
That one is not as bad as 3,000 games played in the NHL or stolen bases, but it's in the picture.
It kind of is because the answer was already given.
He had the answer.
I had the answer to the test and still went way under.
But I've done that too, where it's like, oh, current.
I wasn't listening. All right.
Show us, Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this
A little
headband's
nervous
pretty
there.
cool.
Who's on the bump for the Orioles?
Kyle Bradish.
Is he a lefty?
He's a righty.
Oh, okay.
Bradish the Radish.
Bradish the Radish, they call him. I don't know if they call him that.
Okay.
I think it's the Newt. What do you guys think?
Everything
I think the lineup
tells
should be the same.
Everything tells me it should be Newt, which means Ollie's going to mess with us.
No.
But I don't know where he's going to mess with us.
It's Lars.
I don't think it's here.
It's Newt.
Go ahead, Carey.
Show us Lars Newbar.
What makes you think she's a witch? Well, she turned me into a newt.
Just gotta believe, Jamie.
A newt. We got better.
I still think there's
Would it be abnormal to roll out the same exact lineup you had yesterday?
completely abnormal here in St. Louis.
Let's try that
To
out.
some degree, yeah.
Let's try that out.
go.
Okay. All right. So
Show us that gold.
Gold! Rich with gold! Gold!
show us Nolan Arenado.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
All right, so this was
Burley yesterday, wasn't it?
Yep.
Show
Two
us-
hits.
Yeah.
Show us Alec Burleson.
Kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Burley to the rescue!
And then this was
Ivan Herrera.
Go ahead.
Show us Ivan Herrera.
I'm just going to say this right now. I think Ivan Herrera is going to hit a home run right here.
Marsh just literally called that at Ballpark Village.
had a vision.
It's got to be Gorman here.
There you go.
Why would you mess with it? Show me
Let's do
that
it.
popcorn, baby.
Get your fresh organic popcorn.
Get your popcorn ready.
I like that last one.
Gary.
This is
Whoa.
It was Masyn Winn.
He might need a day off. He's got that tight back.
We are not. No, we're rolling
We
out
might
the
see-
same exact line. If Brandon Crawford is in this spot, I will walk out for the rest of the segment and come back when you start a new one.
I'm just
And
saying.
I'm telling you, and I'm not joking. You can pick whoever you want for me for the home run derby. I will walk out, sit in there with Mike Ryder. You can watch me.
Don't do that to Mike.
No, Mike
He
is a
doesn't
great
need
guy.
your
My
disturbance.
energy is going to be bad though. So
Heads up.
just a heads up.
I just want us to lightly touch the brakes. I didn't say stop or make a turn. Just
Hey,
we were
Jamie.
running downhill pretty damn fast there, and I just think
Gary.
we have to be careful.
As we should. We won
Press the pedal
6-3
to the
yesterday.
floor.
Show us
Floor it.
Masyn Winn.
Yes. Maybe.
He's not. He's kidding. He's messing with us. I'm going to write it down. It's in pen. It's not in pencil.
I'm watching the Futures game. This thing's all over Instagram.
You don't have to look at me like, there you go. Just because I'm trying to be cautious.
Awesome, but like,
my whole life I haven't been cautious with anything, Carey. Trust me. Not one damn thing have I ever pumped the brakes. And that's why I've had some problems.
Jamie, it's fine. Not here.
Okay?
Jamie, not here.
I figure we talk about
No, you're fine.
You're good.
All right.
This is a safe place.
Yeah,
safe
it
space
is.
for all of us.
Thank you very much.
Totally. Absolutely.
All right. This has got to be super bad.
There you go.
There's no way he comes out of the game. Show me super bad.
Michael.
You're not Michael Phelps. You're Michael Cera.
All right.
Good job, Cardinals.
Good job, boys.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
2 days in a row.
Back-to-back.
Actually, congratulations all.
That's what I said. Congratulations.
to Ollie.
Roll them out there.
Roll out.
You know what Mo should do? He should give him a contract extension.
Same lineup.
They already did that.
Oh, what?
Yeah. Have they had the same lineup twice yet this year?
Yeah, I'm sure they have.
You think?
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe not.
Now, tomorrow, especially if you win, I would expect all the backups.
If you do not roll out the same lineup again tomorrow after a win tonight.
Droid says perfect 3 shows in a row. Have we been perfect 3 shows in a row?
That I don't know. I
don't
barely
keep
remember
track
we were
of those
perfect
statistics.
yesterday.
Roll out.
Yeah.
Up.
Look at us.
My homies roll out.
Are you ready for this lineup?
Yeah, let's go.
Leading off, third baseman, Brendan Donovan.
Getting Nolan off his foot, huh?
Batting
Off his
second.
feet.
Just both feet. His left foot. His left
foot is off.
One foot.
He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to stand on his right though the entire time.
He's got a
that he's DHing. So just to give the one foot a rest.
Hilarious.
I mentioned how we're dumb, right?
Yeah, you know.
All right, batting second, right fielder Lars Taylor Tatsui Newbar. Batting third, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt. Your cleanup hitter, the DH, Nolan Arenado. Batting fifth in left field, Alec Burleson. Batting sixth, catching, Ivan Herrera. Batting seventh, second baseman Nolan Gorman. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Masyn Winn. And batting ninth in center field, Michael Siani.
Yeah, sweet voice James said Friday, Monday, Tuesday. Perfecto.
We definitely forgot about Friday. This crew, no chance.
I don't believe what I just saw.
Ryan from the Snake Pit, just like the Cards, they don't do three game winning streaks very often. Now, Ryan, if you intended to hurt all of us today, congratulations, you have.
We get a positive one here, I think, from the 636. Says, you guys might be idiots, but you're our idiots.
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
Thank you very much. Proud to be your idiot.
Yes, because there's kind of it's a team thing then. Yeah.
That's like just like the city of St. Louis, you know. No one can talk crap about our city except for us.
That's right.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're getting punched in the mouth.
That's right. I like to think that somebody out there, like at a bar, is complaining about our takes, right? And then somebody else comes in, and they're like, yeah, I don't like that show either. And then that guy punches him right in the face and say, hey, you don't talk about my show that way.
That's right.
Well, you know, he probably used a broken beer
Somewhere
bottle to be more on brand.
Guys, I think this is where we need to pump the brakes.
No.
Because I feel like we might be third-party liable, maybe to someone getting their lights punched out.
No, it's all hypothetical.
All hypothetical.
Until it happens.
Hey, hold on, guys. I got us. Allegedly,
There
this
you
happens.
go. There you
Tomorrow morning on the
Safe.
news, Fast Lane fan punches out
Other Fast Lane fan.
innocent man who listens to radio show for first time.
I just listened to that show today. I don't like it either.
Don't worry, I'll bail you out.
Yeah, darn
There you
right.
go.
Probably wearing a Red Wings jersey.
Probably. We buried the bodies around here. Yeah, he likes the Red Wings.
Oh, that's right.
We don't play against them anymore, really.
That's true. Which is actually a shame.
It is. It's a hell of a rivalry.
All right, we ready to pick some home run hitters?
Let's go, baby.
Well, I'm not.
Anthony, this is your day.
Gopher?
Is it? It's your day.
Yeah. I don't even remember who I had last night.
Why don't we let Anthony go first?
wanted to go first. That's
No,
not the rule.
I don't want that.
Thank you, Carey.
Heck no.
What? And he doesn't want your
doesn't need
sympathy.
any
I appreciate it, but no, I don't want.
Can you imagine if you took that offer?
Yeah, no.
Man, you'd be soft.
Oh, man. We wouldn't even count it. I wouldn't.
I wouldn't either.
They'd be having asterisks by it.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah,
embarrassed.
I don't want it.
Yeah,
So,
Whatever.
what's the standings? What's the correct standings?
Jamie and I are tied at 9. Carey is at 6.
you don't have to read it. He knows where he is.
I'll say it. I want to hear it.
Don't say fourth. Say it.
Anthony, you were in last place.
Thank you.
With a giant goose egg.
Okay, there we go. Yep. No, I want it to hurt, guys.
All right.
This is what I do. Okay?
We're here to help you.
My coach used to call me a glutton for pain because I
Yeah.
used to mess up so much. You're a glutton. You like to get yelled at and cussed out, don't you? Like, no, I don't.
My entire life. You just described me from a child to now.
Had a coach ask me that one time. I kept passing the puck in front of the net. And says, how old were you when you were told not to pass the puck in front of your own net? I was like, oh, like 6 or 7. He goes, oh, you're pretty freaking smart then, aren't you? I was like 15. It's like, hey, buddy, guess what? I'm going to the show.
Watch this.
Watch this in front of the net pass.
Yeah, nice. Okay, let's see. Jamie.
Yeah. Me?
Yeah. Or Marshall. You guys are tied.
I have a feeling Goldie rips into one today. I think that yesterday was a day off for him offensively.
Yeah.
And I think that he's going to bounce back today. I got Paul Goldschmidt, please.
Give me Alec Burleson.
You
This
son
guy. Every time, this guy. Every time.
Well, Carey, you just got to play better.
I
Get ahead of
got to
him.
catch up. Give me Ivan Herrera.
It's Ivan.
Terrible.
All right, boys. I thought long and hard about this. Give me Gunnar Henderson.
Yes.
Please. Gunnar
Got to be a
Henderson.
Cardinal.
What's that?
Has to be a Cardinal.
Anthony. Maybe this is a problem.
All right. Give me Nolan Gorman.
That's a solid
Give
pick.
me Nolan Gorman.
It's
Give
not
me
really
that
going to narrow the
sweet
gap for you.
Swing. That's okay. I got to get on the board.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to chip away.
And you know what? If he hits 3, I get 3 points. You know?
He hit 2 not too long ago.
That's right.
Okay.
Feel good, guys. I feel good. All right. We got What's Trending coming up next on 101 ESPN. I don't know how many vehicles they still have left, but you have to head out to Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum. When I say vehicles, I know they already have 700 vehicles on the lot ready to go out in Herculaneum. But recently, a hailstorm had forced Auto Center's Nissan Herculaneum to have a huge vehicle sales event. It's worth driving out to Herculaneum, talking to the great sales team out there about what they have left, because at one point they had 500 used vehicles and 200 new Nissans, all discounted thousands for immediate release and sale. Discounts, we're talking about, of up to $20,000 off retail value. They needed to make room, have those cars, they drastically discounted every hailstorm car for immediate sale because they needed to make room for the new inventory. Lenders are on site, immediate financing and delivery. You don't want to miss the largest sale and discount in Auto Center's Nissan history. Again, up to $20,000 off retail value. Financing options for everyone. They have the complimentary lifetime warranty as well on new Nissans. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's Auto Center's Nissan.
find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Anthony Stalter, Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Game 7 between the Edmonton Oilers and Vancouver Canucks. Well, it was delayed a little bit by the Connecticut Sun and the Indiana Fever. The Sun defeated the Fever 88-84. Caitlin Clark with 17 points. That is not necessarily what I want to talk about. I want to bring up something that Colin Cowherd said last week, and I found it pretty interesting, talking about the schedule for the Fever and a little bit of the NFL and how they handle things. Take a listen, and I want to see what you guys think.
Caitlin Clark, 28th year of the WNBA. They have never had a player either good enough or interesting enough to drive marketing, revenue, and TV ratings so that the entire league can fly private. They fly commercial like the rest of us. That doesn't mean there haven't been good players, very good players. But Caitlin Clark, who's never played until a week ago in a WNBA game, is the first player that appears they're banking on her. And I say banking literally. They're literally going now to private flights for 2 years. The money they're going to spend on that's more than the WNBA payroll. So they finally have this moment. Don't put Caitlin Clark up in the first 4 games against New York twice and Connecticut twice, the best defensive teams. The NFL gets Jim Harbaugh in the league. What does the NFL do? They give the Chargers the 2 potentially easiest games on their schedule. Caleb Williams to Chicago. So whereas the NFL has the Chargers facing the Raiders at home, the NFL with Caleb Williams in Chicago won't have them playing the very good Packers until week 11. Why? They want Caleb Williams to get his sea legs, open up with Tennessee, give him a fighting chance, not a lot of TV exposure until weeks 15, 17. They figured it out.
Do you guys agree with Colin Cowherd?
I think it's a really interesting take, and yeah, I do agree with him. I think that you could manipulate the schedule a little bit, because here's what inevitably happens, right? Caitlin Clark, people are interested no matter what. They're either interested in watching what she'll do to see if there's a carryover from Iowa to the WNBA. Fair or unfair, by the way. But the expectation is, let's see if she can light it up. And then you got other people that are like, I'm going to watch her fail. Either way, you're watching. But if you set her up a little bit better, because you know she was drafted number 1 overall, that team ain't it's not good. She don't have a lot around her. If you set her up a little bit better, maybe she lights it up, and she's been playing fine. She averaged like 17 points a game. But maybe she lights it up a little bit in the first couple of games. More attention's drawn. Instead, she's playing the suffocating defense and all that, and you're like, okay, all right, well, we're done. From a marketing standpoint, I think Cowherd's got a good point.
So does it matter, ultimately, if those easier games are at the start of the season or if they're 5 games into the season? Like, does it matter ultimately? Because aren't you going to highlight? But aren't you going to highlight all of her successes anyway? Like ESPN, all the marketing that they're going to do in the team and all that. Mm-hmm. Like these games here were televised and all that. And you saw the growing pains. Like she's seeing some of these girls that are big and strong, and she's running into some picks, and she's gotten hurt a little bit. Mm-hmm. But, 5 games from now or 4 games from now, what if she starts lighting it up? We're still going to see that because that's the main thing they're going to highlight. So I don't necessarily know if it's important that they start the season that way, because anything that's positive is going to get blown up anyways. Just like Caleb Williams. Anything that's positive out of him is going to be at the top of the food chain. And then, of course, anything that's really negative will also see the light of day. Mm-hmm. So Caitlin Clark running into some picks over the last couple of games where she's gotten knocked down and hurt her ankle last night. And then Caleb Williams, when he throws his first pick 6, that's going to get highlighted too. So I don't know if it correlates specifically with the schedule. From a marketing standpoint, I think you just want to make sure that you're blowing up all of the successes as much as possible, no matter when it is during the season.
But the trickle effect that one or like the initial game has. Think about
I don't disagree.
April in baseball, right? Where you get that initial thought. It winds up being a first impression thing. I remember when Ubaldo Jimenez was pitching for Colorado.
Household name.
And he had like the first 2 months, he was unbelievable. And it's what everybody talked about. Cy Young, shoe in, all that. Second half was terrible. What does everybody remember? That fast start. So I do think for this standpoint, it does matter early on. I also see what you're saying in that her successes will be plastered everywhere anyways.
We're going to get a full dose of Caitlin Clark.
I didn't have a problem. I don't have a problem. I mean, you're going to play who you're going to play regardless. At some point, you know, if it's a rough start to the season, it's a rough start to the season. Most rookies, and as we said, I don't think it matters who they play. They had the first overall pick. That means, generally speaking, that team wasn't good last year. So they have some work to do, and she said that after the game. They had an opportunity in that game versus the Sun where they, you know, could have made a layup and probably some other opportunities there. But if you're drafting first top 5 overall, you probably didn't have a good team last year. You probably have a lot of pieces to add and to build to make that team better. It doesn't matter who you're playing, you're probably going to struggle. They probably be 0-4 no matter what team they're playing in the WNBA right now.
Yeah, a couple of things. One, the one girl last night missed an easy layup at the end
Boston,
of the game.
She smoked it. She was a little upset with herself after that.
She looked like she threw a cinder block off the backboard.
Upset. Yeah.
But secondly, the schedule was set probably a long time ago. So the schedule was probably made before the draft.
It was the draft was just a few weeks ago, about a month and a half ago.
Well, the opponent, they probably know the opponents.
It was set after the draft lottery, so, I mean, Caitlin Clark was going number 1. Didn't matter who was taking her. Right. She was going to the team that ended up getting the first pick, which was the Indiana Fever.
But did we know that?
That's what I read.
Okay.
I think you, like at the NFL, you know the opponents.
You just don't know the dates.
You don't know the dates. Mm-hmm. I do think this is where the NFL, not that it's a huge deal, but I do think this is one of the things that the NFL does very well.
Mm-hmm. Schedule rollout.
Mm-hmm. They pick and choose their spots. They know what fans are going to be into. They know how to sell a story, and then they can kind of let everything take care of itself.
All right, guys. Well, much like last night, we just had to wait a little bit to get to Game 7 between the Edmonton Oilers and the Vancouver Canucks. 3-2. Edmonton hangs on. They had a 3-0 lead, and Vancouver, with a late push, made it interesting towards the end of that game. What did you see in Game 7 between these two teams?
Well, the Vancouver Canucks didn't show up till the last period of the game. And halfway through the last period, like, it was unbelievable. Mm-hmm. Edmonton got the puck in. They got in on their forecheck. At one point, the shots were like 16-3 or something in the game. Shelov's was unbelievable. The score could have been 5 or 6-0 early in that second period. He made a couple of unreal saves. Vancouver just wasn't ready to go for whatever reason. Our guy Chuck was mad. He texted me after the game. He said, "Effing Oilers," just like that. And then he said, "Feel bad for Rick Tocchet, the head coach." And but they just weren't ready to go for whatever reason. The Game 7 last night between those two teams, Edmonton was hungry, and Vancouver didn't get hungry until it was too late. And then they made a hell of a game of it. Probably could have tied it up at one point. They had a great chance, but missed their opportunity.
Losing a Game 7 at home has to be just deflating. Like we saw it last year with Boston when they lost to the Florida Panthers in Game 7.
Yeah, and they blew a 3-1 lead in that series.
you saw the Knicks lose game home at 7 to the Pacers. Like losing the Nuggets losing Game 7 at home to the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they were up by 20. Like to lose at home in a Game 7. It has to be like one of the hardest things to do in sports, because you work that hard all season to be able to earn the right to have a better record, to have the Game 7 at home, and to lose that game is
it's a bad feeling.
That's tough.
All right, that's what's trending here in the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. How can the Blues become more competitive heading into next season? We'll talk about it next on 101 ESPN.
Selling your home is a big deal, and we know that right now is the time of year where you see a lot of places going up for sale, so it's definitely not the time to sell your home with just an average agent. You don't want to be with someone who sells just a small handful of homes each year. No, you want the big dog. You want the agent that sells hundreds of homes a year, and that's Gloria Lou with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria Lou already has the buyers, too. That's the beauty of it. In this market where things are fluctuating and things are sometimes a little unsettling, don't worry about it. Gloria Lou has thousands of ready buyers in her exclusive database. These buyers create a higher demand for your listing, more traffic for sure, and maybe you get one of those multiple offer situations. Ultimately, it means more money for you when you get to the closing table, and you will get to the closing table because Gloria Lou has been doing this for so long that she's going to make sure that everything is done properly. So please, just take a minute. If you're looking to sell your home, call Gloria Lou. Tell her Jamie Rivers sent you in. Her number's 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can always visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. The Athletic put together an article. There's a Q&A with Tom Stillman and our guy Jeremy Rutherford about the State of the Blues retool and what's coming this summer. Said it'll be interesting. It already is. Tom Stillman discussed, a variety of things, but when it comes to the Blues becoming more competitive heading into the season, what can be accomplished in such a short period of time in just one off season. How close do you guys think that they can get?
With just one transaction?
No, not just one transaction, but I mean, an entire offseason. So like Stillman, for example, he says, JR asked him, how do you change the makeup of this team to be more competitive? Stillman says primarily through internal growth and improvement. We have a lot of young players in the lineup, and I don't just mean Jake Neighbors and Matthew Kessel. Robert Thomas and Jordan Kairos are young players. So there will be continued improvement among those young players and maybe some new young blood injected. Also, I doubt that if you talk to any of our veterans, I don't think any of them would say that they can't play better. I think we'll see that improvement too. Will there there be some outside additions? It's possible, but it would have to fit with what we're doing. We have a plan. We're going to build for the future. We're going to build to get back into contention, and we're going to do it as painlessly and as quickly as possible. That doesn't necessarily include a splashy free agent signing, but getting our players in an appropriate age bracket and getting better.
Yeah, all that tells me is that don't expect anything big.
Yeah,
and I don't mean that they won't have a successful offseason. A few small moves can make the world a difference.
Like Brady Kachuk.
Well, yeah, that would be a massive move.
One small move.
But if we're decoding what Tom Stillman says in that piece right there, he's basically saying we're looking to continue from or building from within. So the Boldukes and the Deans and those guys are going to be front and center next year. They're going to be a big piece of whatever the Blues are trying to accomplish. And then Army's going to, he's going to kick the tires a little bit. I always feel like Army has one big move up his sleeve. Last offseason was the Kevin Hayes deal. And did that work out? I don't know. To be determined. But nonetheless, there was more to that deal originally. And we found out later that Torrey Krug did not waive his no-trade clause. So that deal ended up shrinking. Mm-hmm. But had that deal gone through in its original form, that was a massive trade that Army was orchestrating. And nobody really saw that coming. So Army, who holds his cards close to the vest, he doesn't do a lot of banging the drum to where hey, look at me, we're going to make a big deal. He talks about just growing the team from within, not making any irrational decisions and whatnot. So that tells me that he's on the lookout for something that he can do to help change this team. Apart from that, if that doesn't come for some reason, because in the NHL these days, it's tough to make a player trade where the money matches up perfect and you just that awesome hockey trade doesn't happen very often without salary being retained or prospects going or things that happen along with the player-to-player trade. So I think they're going to look to try and continue to build from what they have built last year, and they're hoping that those young players take strides moving forward again. Do I think Jake Neighbors can get better than 27 goals? I don't know. I think that was really amazing for him. Do I think he's capable of getting in that 25-goal range again? Yeah, I do. Do I think he's capable of playing a more well-rounded 200-foot game? Yeah, but that's just going to come with experience. Zach Bolduc, we saw him at the end of the year man, he can create some offense out here. This kid's getting some confidence, got a hell of a shot, got a good nose for around the net. So I'd like to see what steps he takes now in the offseason, coming back to training camp with that confidence, with those games now on his resume. What does he look like? Is he a 15 to 20 goal scorer? If so, that might be your offseason move. And I know you hate that, it's like acquiring another player, but it is. When you have a young player that all of a sudden takes big strides, so instead of going to acquire a $2 or $3 million player that's going to get you 15 to 20 goals, if you've got a player at $750,000, the rookie deal, and he provides the same thing, you're winning that moment. Mm-hmm. And then maybe you can add another guy, and that's how you create the depth in your lineup, which I do believe the Blues need better scoring depth in their lineup. It was isolated to a small group of players last year, and in particular at one point, it was Robert Thomas, Kyrou, and Buchnevich that were kind of doing all the damage. And that's never great for a team to just have, the one trick up their sleeve. But I think they're going to continue to do what they're doing.
Do you think that the younger players, maybe Dvorsky coming up or getting an opportunity in training camp to make this team, is that some of the additions that Stillman could be looking to instead of, as you said, making the big splash and via trade or free agency in the offseason? We got guys in the pipeline that we trust and that we think are really good, and they could be the ones that are the big splash for us.
Yeah, I think that would be a huge mistake.
Okay.
I do. And here's why. Is Dalibor Dvorsky might come to training camp and surprise you. Mm-hmm. But all the stuff that you have to do prior to training camp, like you've got to go through the draft, you've got to go through free agency, you're going to have to make moves prior to Dalibor Dvorsky getting to training camp. And what if he ends up at camp? What if you push all your chips in the middle of the table thinking, man, look at this guy, he's good. Look at all the damage he did last year in junior hockey. He gets to training camp, and he's not there yet. He's not quite ready. Now what? You've missed the boat on free agents, maybe possible trades, things like that. I think that if he ends up showing up and being that guy, then that's a bonus for you.
But then aren't you potentially blocking someone or something if you do go in free agency and sign one of those guys, and then Dvorsky comes up and has one of those training camps where you're like, we probably could have saved money and had this younger player playing that position. Now you're potentially blocking him from having the amount of time on ice.
No, you're really not, because if you go back to Robert Thomas's first year in the NHL, he played right wing with Pat Maroon and Tyler Bozak. He's a natural centerman, right? But you found a spot for him in the lineup, and you weren't blocking him. You still got the reps. He still got some power play time. And for me, you can't manage a team or run a team with like fingers crossed on a player, because then again, what happens when you get to training camp? And what if it doesn't work? Now your team isn't making progress. Now you've made a huge mistake by not, like we talk about the Cardinals and the rotation. Let's use that as comparable. Mo thought, the young guys are going to take steps. Zach Thompson's going to be a competitive guy, Matthew Liberatore. But then what happens when they're not? We've seen it. So you're better off to load up the cabinet and then figure out where you're going to put the pieces. And in hockey, the beauty of it is you can put a guy at right wing, left wing, center, and then when Dalibor Dvorsky develops into what he's supposed to be as a true center iceman, you'll know it, and he'll take reps back at center ice just like Robert Thomas did.
We got a question from the 980. Speaking of the Cardinals, Jamie, I have a question for you. Yesterday, John Mozeliak pretty much was honest with us, which I know is hard to believe, but correct me if I'm wrong. You told CD that you wanted more from him than you wanted to know the plan to get better. But shouldn't you want the same from the Blues? Because they're not giving us a plan or telling us how they're going to get better. They are basically just telling us they are going to young guys and to be patient, which sounds a lot like the Cardinals.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree anymore. They've given you all the information now for a season and a half. Doug Armstrong was brutally honest about where this franchise was, why it's here, and what he wants to do moving forward. And in that answer, Tom Stillman tells you. That's why I said, decoding it, he tells you, we're really not looking to make a splash in free agency. We're relying upon the young guys to take steps forward and to prove that we can make this playoff run with those young guys. Are they going to add ancillary pieces? Of course they are. You can't go into the season just hoping that all these young guys become full-time NHLers or that they occupy big chunks of minutes in your lineup every night. But I do think the Blues, if nothing else, like they haven't been specific. Like if you want Army or Stillman to say, this player in particular is who we're targeting, well, one, you've lost your leverage for negotiation immediately. That player's agent goes, come to Papa. They want my client. And you're also letting the other teams know what direction you're headed into. So there's only a certain amount of information that you can give your fan base that is informative to them without being detrimental to what you're trying to do in the offseason.
That's Jamie Rivers, Carey Davis, and Anthony Stalter. It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. There's one player for the Cardinals right now. He's having an excellent season. We've kind of touched on him a couple of times, but I think it's far time to give the kid a lot more appreciation. We're going to talk about Masyn Winn next on 101 ESPN.
Anthony, sometimes getting older stinks. You don't feel the same way. You're always talking about, back in the day and all that stuff. Well, stop talking about that. Change your life. Head over to Mentality. Their board-certified physicians are going to sit down with you and discuss what you're feeling. The positives, the negatives, maybe what your goals would be to get back to a certain level of energy or a certain level of health. And the beauty of it all is they do a full blood panel, which is great because you get information about everything that you need to know, especially if you're getting older. Sometimes it's great to be reassured that things are headed in the right direction. But then they develop a program specific to you to maximize your potential and to maximize your life.
Jamie, you know it works. I know it works, but it's up to you to head down to Mentality. They got 2 different locations, one in South County, which I visited today, and one in Chesterfield. It's up to you to say, hey, man, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of feeling run down. I'm tired of feeling depressed. I'm tired of the mood changes. I'm tired of snapping everybody, and I'm irritable and all that. I want to change this. Jamie and I, we went through it, but we're on the other side of it now because, man, a program like Mentality, they'll take your blood, they'll test what's going on. If there's a serious issue, you'll know. But a lot of times, it's just you're low on testosterone as you get older. They will help. Program's outstanding. You could visit them online at lowtusa.com. Or again, check them out. 2 locations, Chesterfield or out in South County. Tell them Jamie and Anthony sent you. It's Mentality.
Herrera around second. He's going to try for third. Winn's on his way to second. He's in safely. It's 2-0 Cardinals.
Honest opinion. Their city connects, yeah, that's for sure.
All right, that was Masyn Winn. Talk about the City Connect jerseys. You also heard Chip Carey, Bally Sports Midwest last night. So Masyn Winn, I was looking at his offensive statistics, and guys, I thought to myself, I'm like, man, we're praising this kid defensively. And I had the 2 errors last night. He had the back-to-back plays, but I mean, the guy's been sensational defensively. But that's all we've kind of talked about. We've spent a lot of time talking about Jordan Walker's issues, and he's in Memphis. We spent a lot of time talking about Paul Goldschmidt and whether or not, his career is going to start to fall off dramatically because of his age. We even talked about Nolan Arenado or some of the other guys that are out. We haven't spent a ton of time really diving into Masyn Winn, though. He's got 112 WRC plus. 100's average. So an average Major League ball player, 100. There's several Cardinals that are well below that. Masyn Winn's 12 percentage points higher than that. And Winn's, WRC plus, It's just how good are you as a player of creating runs for your team, whether it's doubles or home runs or stolen bases or singles or driving runners in. It's all encompassing, and it factors in the ballpark. It's kind of like, to me, it's a perfect statistic. But maybe you're an average guy. Masyn Winn's batting .288, on base .345, slug .394. He's got 7 stolen bases. He hit his first home run the other night. Not a guy that's going to have a ton of power, I think, when it's all said and done. But can you play outstanding defense? And can you provide offensively? Coming into the year, guys, I said, leave him alone. Have him bat 8th or 9th.
Yeah.
Leave him alone. But instead, he's been one of the catalysts recently since May 12th or whatever it was against Milwaukee that has led to this turnaround offensively.
And boy, he's fun to watch.
You
know, what was it, a week ago, 10 days ago, where we sat in here, Anthony and Carey? I can't remember if you were here or not that day, but we basically came to the conclusion, like, why would you go to the ballpark? What are you going to watch?
I was here.
Were you, like, what's exciting about this team? At the time, there really wasn't. We kind of said, okay, well, Masyn Winn. And I think Carey, actually, now I remember, I think you did say, well, Masyn Winn. And Sonny Gray, I think that came up too. But now the Cardinals are playing a little bit better. Now you can look at a guy like Masyn Winn, and he is so much fun to watch. His range is incredible. He's never out of a play. Like, there's never a play where he gets the ball and doesn't feel like he can beat the runner to first. And I said it before, Paul Goldschmidt should be wearing a mouth guard over there. Because if he misplays one of those things, I mean, he's going to be put into concussion protocol. But it's so much fun to watch him do what he's doing. And for you guys, like, who's the last shortstop that you can think of that or who is a shortstop that he reminds you of? Because I think the power, I don't think it'll ever be there. Like, I don't think that'll be a main thing for Masyn Winn. But I think the power will evolve. He'll get older. He'll get a little bit stronger, and his timing will get better. But just the range that he has with the speed that he has, what's a shortstop that comes to mind?
What the hell, man?
What?
What the hell?
What?
You really asking that?
For me, it's
St. Louis.
Well, no, it's not. It's not.
I see what you're doing.
I don't think it's him.
I see what you're doing.
You're thinking Ozzy?
Yeah, I'm thinking Ozzy.
No.
A Cardinals shortstop?
Well,
with that range?
I thought you were thinking Paul DeYoung.
Because I
said a Cardinals shortstop with that range?
I'm going to go to another city because I think of the arm.
Oh, wow, Carey.
And I think of Sean Dunston. Like, that's because of how the... Shawan Dunston, because he had a cannon as well.
Yeah, he did.
He had a rocket attached to his arm, and any ball he got to, you were probably going to be out. So when I think of just that aspect of it, that's the first person that comes to mind for me is I don't know that I've seen a shortstop with an arm like those two. Those two guys could get the ball out, and you knew if you were not a speedy runner, you were probably going to be out, no matter how deep in the hole it was hit.
I think the last Cardinal shortstop that somewhat looks like Masyn Winn from like
Royce
a hitting
Clayton?
standpoint and an on-field standpoint.
It looks like him. Royce Clayton. They look okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say maybe like Rafael Furcal, what he provided for that team.
Furcal's a really good comparison.
Now, he was a little bit older, obviously.
He was older, but I mean, in his prime, you're talking about somebody with good range, strong arm, all that. Yeah.
Good speed, not necessarily going to hit a home run, but be on base.
How long do you think until he wins his first Gold Glove? Because it's inevitable, right? It's got to be.
It might be this year, Jamie. I mean, honestly.
Like, I'm being serious. Like, it's almost inevitable that he's going to be a Gold Glove guy.
So it used to be where Gold Glove it was as much of an offensive statistic as it was a defensive statistic. I feel like they've done a better job. Whoever votes on that have done a better job of understanding that it should be a pure defensive award. They have more than enough offensive statistics and awards to go around. But when you look at it, I mean, the shortstops in the National League right now, you've got Mookie Betts, who has actually played very well defensively. I don't know if he wins a Gold Glove, but he's played very well defensively. You've got Dansby Swanson with the Cubs. You have Trey Turner with the Phillies. Francisco Lindor, Mets. Willie Adames, Brewers. Defensively, I would put Masyn Winn with any of those guys. You know, Ella De La Cruz, obviously, is had a great year offensively. O'Neal Cruz, but Masyn Winn from a shortstop standpoint, yeah, I would his range, his arm, everything I would put up against any of these guys. C.J. Abrams from Washington's really talented as well. Yeah,
it's fun to watch guys like Masyn Winn because as I watch him play and as he's making plays, I thought to myself a couple of days ago, I go, this guy's going to have a really good long career.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if the bat isn't, what it needs to be, a guy that plays that good defensively with that speed is going to have a really good career.
Think of Yachty here and the appreciation that we've had for Yachty. Defensive first guy. There were some seasons, I think he had 20 home runs one year. There were some seasons where he's put it together offensively, but a really smart, instinctive player. You couldn't ask for a better city that appreciates what a player can do at that position defensively than St. Louis.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that when you take a step back and look at it, yeah, I agree, Jamie. I think he is going to have a really great career.
And this is like his first real season. He got called up a little bit last year.
A cup of coffee last year.
But that spot on the field has been his this year.
Absolutely.
I think Gunnar Henderson showed what he can do last night, too. I think this series is very entertaining for baseball fans, seeing good defensive play in the infield.
I really appreciate the shortstop position. We kind of watched. I grew up in the 80s, you guys too, but I really followed. I was so young. Not you, Marsh.
Not me. I wasn't born yet. Wasn't even a thought.
Yeah, I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at Carey and James.
You were staring right at me.
You may have been a thought.
Yeah, you were a thought.
No, wasn't a thought.
Okay, whatever. In the 90s, though, when I really appreciated what I was seeing, you had Derek Jeter, and you had Nomar, and you had even Ray Adornez, who was the Mets shortstop, who couldn't hit a lick, but, man, defensively he was great. You had guys like, of course, Alex Rodriguez. But I'm also thinking of, who else was in
Barry Larkin was in
Barry Larkin, certainly. Foucault was kind of later. There was more 2000s. Cal Ripken, absolutely, before he moved over to third base. Yeah. But you had shortstops that kind of stole the show for a while there, and those guys were started to come about offensively. This now, I mean, you've got a crop of shortstops right now in Major League Baseball that are really good. Like you said, Gunnar Henderson, or the names that we mentioned now. Mookie Betts comes in from the outfield. He could play shortstop.
That's amazing.
Been great.
That's amazing.
He's been phenomenal.
To be that athletic, to be able to do that and really not miss a beat and still hitting the ball. Like, there is no lacks in any part of his game.
No.
He's doing great in all facets.
I completely agree. All right, we've got Are You Sold next. So if you got a Are You Sold statement, 314-399-9646. If you've got an Are You Sold statement, send it in. We'll play that game next on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and I want to tell you about Window Nation's semi-annual sale. They are offering 50% off of all window styles plus 0 interest for 5 years and an additional bonus if you schedule your appointment today through May 31st. Window Nation's They are truly window experts. That's all they do. Their professional installation team has over 10 years of experience, and last year alone, they installed over 200,000 windows, 96% of them requiring no follow-up service. That's 40 times more than the average window company. They'll come measure that window 3 times to ensure the proper fit, and they will get your window installed in 1 day or less. The window will come with a lifetime warranty on the entire window, including the glass. All you have to do is reach out to them at 866-90NATION or go online at windownation.com. If your windows are old, if they leak water, have condensation, are moldy or rotten, they get hot to the touch, or you're just tired of paying the high utility bills for heating and cooling, reach out to Window Nation and get a free, no-obligation quote today. You can reach out to them at 866-90NATION or go online at windownation.com.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals defeat the Baltimore Orioles last night by a final score of 6-3. Lance Lynn will take the mound tonight going up against Kyle Bradish. 6:45 first pitch. Last night, the Edmonton Oilers defeated the Vancouver Canucks 3-2 in Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinal. They'll take on the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference final. On the other side, the New York Rangers will go up against the Florida Panthers. In the NBA, Game 1 between the Boston Celtics and the Indiana Pacers is tonight for the Eastern Conference final. Pre-game for that one starts at 6:30, and you can catch it right here on 101 ESPN. We have Are You Sold coming up next, so if you have an Are You Sold statement you want to send our way, do so using the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646. Are You Sold coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's a fast lane on 101 ESPN. Time to play Are You Sold? So if you get an Are You Sold statement, you can send it into the Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646 with Carey Davis and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. Marsh, go.
All right, from the 816, Are You Sold on the Kansas City Royals?
Absolutely. They're rolling right now, boys.
Really?
They got a really good lineup. Bobby Witt Jr., Sal Perez. They've been kind of fun to watch.
And then
good young pitching. Raggins, it's been good.
They're in a terrible division, like the NL Central, you said?
Guardians have been good. Minnesota's been good. Guardians got a plus 61 run differential. Royals
it
with
is
a plus
the weakest
60.
division in the American League.
I was going to say.
It is.
Yeah.
Anthony, just be honest. Jesus.
When you say AL West, I think is the weakest in the American League right now.
You're sold,
no
meaning
chance.
They can win a championship sold, or sold as in they can
what do you want me to
make a push through the playoffs?
I think just be better than what they have been.
Absolutely.
That's not
question.
very.
That's a low bar.
30 and 19 plus 60.
That's pretty impressive.
That's really
been excellent,
You
man.
can give him more credit than what you did.
Oh, okay. I'm the only one that said anything positive so far. You guys have looked like somebody farted in your cereal talking about him. I've been honest.
Now, would you get splashes from that?
Well, maybe a little bit of movement.
Or would you just fart, like hover over the cereal and leave it your mark that way?
Who's going to eat that cereal after that?
Nobody.
No, but what if you had to?
Now, I don't know that well, why are you standing over it?
No, but we're just playing the game, Carey. You know the game. Like, if you had to eat the cereal. If you had to eat cereal after someone farted in it. Like, no, wait.
What is this, Fear Factor?
Wait.
It's not great.
Out of the three other guys in here,
Neither.
there's one. You got to take one person. You're like, fine, I'll eat it after he farts in it. Which one?
How the hell did I get picked for this? It would be Marshy, just because he's younger.
Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Carey, it was good knowing you. It was good knowing you.
I feel like he's got, like,
Mine might be
chemical
the worst.
warfare going on.
Mine might be the worst.
Yeah.
And we've already established that, so I have no problem saying it.
Whoa. Well, congratulations, Carey.
You already said final answer, right?
He did.
I don't think he did.
All right.
Yeah, so the Royals, I'm buying in.
All right. From the 618, are you sold on St. Louis native Jason Tatum finally getting his ring and being finals MVP?
This is his best chance to make it through the Eastern Conference. And like I said, they obviously went to a championship a few years ago and lost to the Warriors. Been to the Eastern Conference Finals a few times. This is a great opportunity to make it to the finals. If they got to face Minnesota with the length that they have, good luck. I mean, I think that it's going to be a good match. But for me, this has been the best opportunity running through the East that I think the Boston Celtics have had since he's been there. So if you make it to the championship, anything is possible. And, I think we all can agree to that.
They're going to make it to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Pacers have got to this point as it is. I mean, the Eastern Conference, outside of Boston, is weak as hell.
Philadelphia with Joel Embiid going down for as long as he did, that definitely
they weren't
made
gonna make it.
It's a soft conference.
Joel Embiid getting hurt, the Bucks losing Giannis, getting hurt, having Dame get hurt, like all these things. This is what I said a couple of weeks ago, last week. This has been the best opportunity for the Celtics to run through the East because all of the main players have been hurt. Like you've had guys with injuries and not had the best health. I mean, the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler was hurt. Like you've had a lot of guys on the Eastern side, superstars that have been hurt. And Boston, for the most part, besides Kristaps Porzingis, has been healthy.
Yes.
So they are the favorite to make it to the finals.
They should. Indiana, defensively, is one of the worst defensive teams I've seen. I don't know how they've made it this far outside of the fact that they've benefited from the list of the litany of teams that you just mentioned. They're banged up.
Everybody's been hurt.
So,
and the Knicks had every starter banged up to some degree. Jalen Brunson broke his hand in the game. Like the Knicks were decimated with injuries.
So Boston, they're in. I think that they get in. Dallas, Minnesota.
I like Minnesota.
Gauntlet, man.
I like Minnesota just because
I was like if they do something different.
I was texting Rock this a couple of days ago when the Timberwolves won. I said I was wrong because I thought there is no way in hell the Minnesota Timberwolves spent all of that, traded so much away for Rudy Gobert. You got him and Cat. I'm like, how the hell you think this is the NBA in 2022, 23? This is not, the 90s where you get two bigs and they just roam and be big in the middle of the lane.
I loved it.
They have done a great job. And so, I think the Timberwolves with Anthony Edwards, that's the matchup that gives any team a problem.
From the 636, are you sold? Alec Burleson is a consistent 5-hole hitter for the NL Central champion St. Louis Cardinals.
I don't know if I'm sold on that, but I love the recent stretch. I think we get to this point. Like Dylan Carlson will have a stretch. Burleson will have a stretch. Tyler O'Neill had a stretch. And we want to crown him because we're so desperate for that offense. I hope so. He has looked phenomenal of late. But baseball is streaky.
I feel like Alec Burleson's going to be a consistent hitter. He's always had pretty good bat. And it's noted at the end of last season, talking to Burleson, people talking to Burleson and Ollie Marmol, he was told, there are certain things you need to do if you're going to stay in the majors, if you're going to contribute at the major league level. And he finally listened, and I think he went away and worked on some things. He lost some weight. It certainly, doesn't hurt when you're trucking around in the outfield.
Right.
But he has been, I think, I could be wrong, he's been the most consistent Cardinal from the beginning till right now. I mean, Contreras out.
But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you're wrong on that.
So I think he's got a spot. Is it in the 5 hole all the time? I don't know, but I think you got to find a way to get him in the lineup.
Every day.
Yes.
No more sitting down for Alec Burleson. He's playing every day.
I'm with you. I agree.
This one comes from the Water Boys, sticking with the Cards. Are you sold when Tommy Edman or Jordan Walker returns? Michael Superbad Siani stays and Dylan Carlson is let go.
Yes.
Ooh. No, they got other people on the roster.
Right now?
Is Jose Fermin still on the roster?
Yes.
He'll go. He'll go down.
Yes.
Okay, so then let's change the game. Who plays ahead of who? Siani plays ahead of Carlson.
Does he play ahead of Tommy Edman? Well, I don't. Tommy Edman is not going to be back until Anthony said 2026 sometime. So we got a few years. This injury, we don't.
Yeah, we are going to get into that a little bit later on.
Yeah, because I have some serious thoughts on what's going on with Siani and some other, we'll call it the domino effect of him playing as good as he has been this year.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm sold on Dylan Carlson being the one out, but
who else
you
goes?
raise an interesting question.
Well, we'll get into it. Save it.
Okay.
Save it.
You save it.
I said shave it.
You shave it.
I did.
I like his beard. From the 661, are you sold on the Edmonton Oilers finally winning it all?
No.
No.
No chance. I think Dallas is going to steamroll them. Dallas's team, Jim Nill, who, by the way, was the assistant GM in Detroit for all those years they were winning championships and #1 in the NHL, he has put together a really solid lineup. 4 lines that can play, 7 defensemen. So there's a guy every night for the Dallas Stars that doesn't play that's an NHL caliber player. And they got Jake Ottinger in net now. Dallas, to me, beats the Edmonton Oilers. I think the Vancouver exposed a lot of the Oilers' problems. I think that we saw just how questionable the goaltending can be out of Skinner for the Oilers. I don't think this is the year they win it. I think the conference final will be their championship.
I agree.
By the way, Jose Fermin is in AAA.
Yep. Figured that out just now.
So,
whatever.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be rough.
So this next one comes from Chauncey. We appreciate Chauncey being a part of the show. Are you sold that the Cards and the Blues overlook lesser teams and lock in with better teams? That's why they lose games they shouldn't and beat teams we never thought they would.
I can see that, which is a recipe, generally speaking, if you are unable to beat the teams you're supposed. We saw that with the Blues. I mean, San Jose Sharks, obviously.
It wasn't just the Sharks.
Careful. It was his Sharks.
There's a lot of teams they didn't fare well against that are bad.
I think if you're not a good team, if you can dial it up and play to the level of your competition versus really good teams, but kind of stink it up and kind of go through the motions versus really bad teams, you're essentially a bad team. You're not a good team. And so the Cardinals are going to have to figure out a way to continue to be competitive against these really good teams, but find a way to win series and beat the hell out of the really bad teams, because those are the wins that help add to your record and allow you to get back into the standings.
There you have it. That's Are You Sold? The Fast Line on 101 ESPN. Speaking of which, what is Michael Siani's long-time role with the Cardinals? Long-term role. We'll get into that next on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. We called our guy Stewie today from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. And Stewie, want to ask you about zero down payments and how we can help our current listeners right now that might be looking for a zero down payment solution.
Well, Anthony, the real estate market is a dog-eat-dog world. So people are offering over the asking price. You need more down payment money. And we had a customer that only had enough to put 3% down as a first-time home buyer, but had to go over the purchase price and didn't have enough money. Well, we have the solution. The bagel loan, no closing costs. You don't have to pay closing costs. That's money you don't have to lay at. Add that to the bid. You're going to get your contract accepted before everybody else. Well, here's even something better than that. How about no down payment, zero down payment with the bagel loan? Now you can afford to offer more money for that house, have a better than competitive bid, beat the other offers, and it won't cost you a dime more out of pocket to get that house.
That's an amazing solution for our listeners, Stewie. And we appreciate you always coming up with these great ideas. And I know the listeners love to hear them here daily on 101 ESPN. And our listeners can get a hold of Stewie on his personal cell phone number. That number's 314-324-4440.
Again, that number's 314-324-4440.
And you heard Stewie talking about the bagel loan. Anthony, if you can't remember that number, what can our listeners do?
Well, you can always Google the bagel loan. Thanks, Stewie.
Have a good one, guys.
NMLS number 226715.
Thanks for calling Toyota. This is Jan.
Hi, Jan. I just adopted a new best friend, and I'm looking for a Toyota so we can make the most out of summer.
With a new RAV4, you can take your pup for a drive up the coast. You can take a Prius to the park for some tug-of-war. Or you can take a Tundra to kayak at a remote lake.
One problem, Jan.
Oh?
My new best friend's a cat.
Your summer starts here, but it all ends June 3rd. Toyota, let's go places. Dealer inventory may vary. See your participating Toyota dealer for details.
He plays the game the right way, and then defensively, he's absolutely elite. He's playing center field like extremely, extremely well. So, big at bats from him today. Drove in that first run, and then the homer.
Swing and a fly ball, belted deep right. That ball is gone. A three-run homer for Siani. Instead of strike three, it's a three-run bomb.
You heard Ollie Marmol, Cardinals manager, and Chip Carey, the play-by-play man for Bally Sports Midwest, on the call last night. Michael Siani hits his first home run of his career. And, Jamie, you were just talking about this in Are You Sold? It's talking about Michael Siani, his role moving forward. Mm-hmm. You posed the question to us about Tommy Edman and when Tommy Edman returns. Now, as Carey has talked about, I don't think Tommy Edman's going to return for another 2 years. But when he does, or if he does this season, what's his role? Does he automatically get inserted back into center field? I think he does.
Well, I think he does initially, but long term, like, what Michael Siani has managed to do, and I wasn't a Siani fan. In fact, I was like, who the heck is this guy? For the longest time, we, super bad. Like, not that we disrespected him, but we didn't think he was going to be the long-term solution at center field.
Right.
But what he's been able to do defensively, and with the speed that he has and the area that he covers out there, and then he has been consistent at the plate. I told you the numbers earlier. The last 45 plate appearances, he's got an OPS of over 800, which you'll gladly take.
Certainly.
So watching him play, the way he's been able to do it, like I asked you guys in the group chat, like, is he now blocking someone like Victor Scott, who clearly wasn't ready for the major league level from an offensive standpoint? But then when Tommy Edman comes back, does Ollie consider handing Tommy Edman a utility glove, which means he will play at center field from time to time, but I just don't know if he's automatically handed the position of center field when you got a guy like Siani who's probably better defensively than Tommy Edman.
I think that last part is fair. I think the Victor Scott conversation is the easier one to have. Excuse me. When you look at Victor Scott, like, the skill set is there. He can do things on a baseball field.
Yeah, he
that most
reminds me
can't.
a lot of Michael Siani.
I think that's the other way around.
No, Siani's pretty damn fast too, boys.
But to your point, you got to produce, right?
Yes.
Siani's got to produce. Or Scott. He had his opportunity, and nobody expected him to rip the cover off the ball or surprise. We were hoping, but that's what Siani's done. Siani has produced. He has been very good for you. He has been consistent.
You just enough.
Certainly, and he has played an excellent center field. But when Tommy Edman comes back, I do think he's inserted into center field.
But then what do you do with Siani?
He goes into the role that you thought Dylan Carlson was supposed to have, which is the fourth outfielder.
So then Dylan Carlson is sent down.
I don't think he gets sent down. I think by the time Tommy Edman comes back, it might be trade deadline time, and you might be working a deal then of trading Dylan Carlson.
But
Siani is currently playing over Dylan Carlson.
Agreed, but that's the thing we always talk about. You trade him for what? Like, what are you getting?
But you can't keep the roster spot, Carey. So
agreed,
it's like,
but that's the part where...
Don't you yell at Carey.
That's the part where
you're upset because Siani will get shifted into a fourth outfielder spot.
Or fifth.
Hey,
probably.
Carey and I are talking.
I think that's the part where you get in trouble because you are going to trade a Dylan Carlson for what? And then he goes and has success elsewhere. And that's the fear that you have is players having success elsewhere where either they're blocked because they're not playing well enough here or because of injuries or because other guys are playing better. They're just not getting the opportunities. But there are spots for other people in other places, and then they do have success.
So, but then what's your solution then? Because Siani's not going to get you anything either. To me, the contract always
plays. And so Siani's probably, as unfortunate as it is, the people that make the most money, and you know this, get the most opportunities.
And Tommy Edman has always got an opportunity all over the field.
He has, but where is he going to play? He's going to play second base because now Burleson is your everyday DH because he's hitting. So that means Nolan Gorman is not going to be playing DH. He's going to be playing second base unless he's not hitting. And so then maybe you put Tommy Edman there. But it's you have to play the people that are playing, and then financially, organizations are always going to play the contracts. Sometimes in spite of.
They do
which is
until
not
the games
fair.
matter, though, Carey, because then you know yourself when you're in the playoff, especially if you're the Cardinals, you're in the last 3 weeks of the season, and you need that lockdown center fielder. The numbers right now bear out that Michael Siani is every bit, if not better, than Tommy Edman defensively in center field. And if that's the case, then maybe, because Alec Burleson today is in left field. Like, I don't want to take Burley's bat out of the lineup, but if you're looking for your best defensive lineup, Alec Burleson isn't in left field.
Correct.
It might be a Tommy Edman in left field or a Brendan Donovan.
But I will push back because Burley has done a really good job. He made a really good catch a couple of games ago. Had a couple assists, had one through a guy out at first base.
But he's not your best option.
No, I agree.
So I just think, look, overall, I just thought it was an intriguing problem that the Cardinals have now, or situation's probably a better word for it, that they probably didn't expect to have.
Yeah.
Like, you probably thought that with Edman out. You'll give Victor Scott a cup of coffee, see what happens. Then ultimately probably hand it over to Dylan Carlson.
Yeah, because you're right. When Tommy Edman and Jordan Walker come back, and they come back around the same time, Dylan Carlson and Michael Siani are probably back in AAA.
Which is crazy to think that.
This is just I laugh because this is just a
Hey,
Cardinal.
laughing at us. What the hell is happening over here?
Cardinal problem, isn't it?
Or like maybe Brandon Crawford goes.
They're 6 games under 500.
Oh, that wouldn't be bad because then you'd have Edman rotating the shortstop.
So maybe Siani stays.
I don't think you can get rid of him. What? Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
This is a Cardinal-esque problem, though. They're what, 5-6 games below 500. They have stunk offensively, and yet they're somehow still a log jam. Like they're not a good team. They're not playing like one, at least. Mm-hmm. They're not a good team, and somehow there's a log jam again. And this isn't the first time I feel like we've had similar conversations, especially about the outfield.
You got a text from the 636. Fellas, there will be injuries. Don't sweat. Don't sweat the spots for active players.
There you go. That is true.
That's not a great way to.
It'll figure itself out, but
eventually everybody's going to be healthy. I don't know when that is.
Oh, Carey, I don't think.
I don't know when.
That's possible.
I don't think it happens.
Ever.
What?
I'll take the field.
We do. We do need got a Gauntlet contestant. Who's up, man?
Matt will be our Gauntlet contestant today.
Oh, Matt wants a piece, huh? All right. Well, Matt, you're up next in the Gauntlet on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you're a contractor or you own a business that needs recycling, you need to learn more about Scrap Mart Metals. They're tailor-made for your business to meet your schedule and your budget. They understand that job site cleanup for contractors can be a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it's one less thing you have to do during cleanup. You'd be amazed how scrap metals add up and how it can help your business's cash flow. If you own heavy equipment, it often breaks down. Time and time again, you have to repair it. At some point, you're going to have to get rid of it. When that time comes, Scrap Mart will come and get it out of your way. They'll haul your equipment to one of their convenient locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you like, you can haul it away yourself. They have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, and Jonesburg. If it's metal, they buy it. Copper, wire, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, batteries, electric motors, steel, cast iron, and so much more. It is recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale, and they pay the highest payout to get you top dollar for your scrap metals. Just reach out to them at scrapmartmetals.com. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account. That's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you master the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet is powered by Master, your hometown source for business communications for more than 30 years. Visit Mastor.com.
4 o'clock, your time check is brought to you by Clarkson Jewels, an officially licensed Rolex jeweler. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Andrew Marsh, and Anthony Stalter. We welcome in Matt. What's up, Matt?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Doing all right.
Excellent. First time in the Gauntlet?
It is, yeah.
All right. Well, welcome aboard. Thanks for
Appreciate
playing.
it. A lot of time coming.
Would you like to take on Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, or me?
I heard Carey pull out a big win yesterday, so I think I'm going to go with you, Stalter.
Oh, son of a... Didn't see that coming. All right, Matt, good luck.
Thanks.
All right, Matt, Anthony's going to head off to the Cone of Silence while he's making his way over there. I'm going to need you to tell our guy, Andrew Marsh, to spin that wheel.
Marsh, spin that wheel.
All right, Matt, you picked Anthony. Is there a category you'd like to have against Anthony?
Depending on the day, I do good, better, and different on all of them, so we'll see where it lands.
So are you a regular listener, Matt?
Yeah, since Carragher, Farr, and Raymer back in the day.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice.
We appreciate you listening. But if you do listen, like you say you do, what category does Anthony usually get?
Well, he usually gets hockey. We prefer football.
That's right. Well, he got hockey, and so did you again today.
All right.
All right, so here's how it works. As you know, 4 questions worth 2 points each. If you use the options and answer correctly, well, they're only worth 1 point. And if you get it wrong, you get 0 points. If we're tied after 4 questions, we will go to a tiebreaker question, and then ultimately we end up with a winner here in the Gauntlet. Matt, are you ready, my friend?
I think so.
Okay, again, the category is hockey. Question number 1. Chris Kreider recently became the 3rd New York Ranger to record 3 goals in a period in a playoff game. Mark Messier and who else have achieved that feat?
Oh, jeez. We're going to go the options on this one.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right. Was it Wayne Gretzky, Mats Zuccarello, or Derek Stepan?
Let's go with Zuccarello.
Final
answer.
Question number 2. Who's the all-time leader in points for the Rangers, recording over 1,000 points in his Rangers career?
I'm going to go with Messier.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Question number 3. The last time the New York Rangers won the Stanley Cup in 1994, who was the Blues captain at the time?
Oh, jeez. Hey, Siri. Wow. Let's go options.
Options are Garth Butcher, Brett Hull, or Chris Pronger.
Is Pronger hit it yet? Let's go with Hall.
Final answer?
Final answer, yeah.
I knew that one.
I would hope so.
All right, question 4. After playing 11 seasons in St. Louis, Brett Hull played for the Dallas Stars, the Detroit Red Wings, and which other team for 1 season before retiring?
Stars. I feel like Stalter's going to know this. Let's go options.
All right, was it the Calgary Flames, the Phoenix Coyotes, or the Ottawa Senators?
We're going to go with the Coyotes. Give that a try.
Final answer?
Final answer, yeah.
All right. All right, let's get Anthony in here from the Cone of Silence. We feel like I had to wake him up there, Carey.
Sleep.
He might be a little tuckered out, you know?
Yeah, had a long day, huh?
Yeah, life's tough sometimes. Oh, hi, Anthony. How are you? Anthony's back into the studio. Anthony, how was the Cone of Silence?
Lonely. Yeah. No Mike Ryder.
Are you tired today a little bit?
Am I?
Yeah.
No, I feel good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you find your iPod
Not anymore.
shuffle?
Not anymore after you asked for that. But
iPod shuffle.
Did you find your, because he hadn't worked out since he lost his iPod.
Still haven't.
Well, I understand that. Okay. All right. Well, Anthony, Don't know if you have your iPod Shuffle, but hopefully you packed a lunch.
Okay. Yeah, I did actually.
Good, you're going to need it.
Carey, appreciate you.
Yeah, no
Helped me out in a break. We had a live read. He heated it up for me, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I would ask Carey to take a bite of it first.
Carey and I are brothers.
Carey, you wouldn't mind taking a bite of this first, would you?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Come on.
Lunch. Anyways.
Carey and I are brothers.
The category, Anthony, surprisingly, is hockey.
Are you serious?
I am dead serious.
Good luck.
So here we go.
Had success at hockey. So.
Question number 1. Chris Kreider recently became the third New York Ranger to record 3 goals in a period in a playoff game. Mark Messier and who else have achieved that feat? I mean, you're a Ranger fan.
You are a Ranger fan.
Yeah, no, good call. Let me see if I can narrow down the list of every player that has ever played for the Rangers and get it down to 3.
Okay.
So, can I have the options, please?
Yeah, was it Wayne Gretzky, Mats Zuccarello, or Derek Stepan?
Why don't we go with Derek Stepan? He seems like the outlier there.
Sure.
Final answer.
Question number 2. Who is the all-time leader in points for the Rangers, recording over 1,000 points in his Rangers career?
It's got to be Messier. Mark Messier. Final answer.
Question number 3. The last time the Rangers won the Stanley Cup in 1994, who was the Blues captain at the time?
Wow. I better get the option. I think it's Hull, but I'll just go with the options here.
Options are Garth Butcher, Brett Hull, or Chris Pronger.
I don't think Pronger was there yet, right? I'll go Brett Hull. Final answer.
All right, Antoine. Final question. After playing 11 seasons in St. Louis, Brett Hull played for the Dallas Stars, the Detroit Red Wings, and which other team for 1 season before retiring?
Others have also gone to this organization, this franchise. Some have ruined it. Brett Hull, though, did not. He was a Phoenix Coyote for 1 year. Final answer.
All right. Okay, we're going to start from the top. We're going to go right from the top here. Question number 1. Chris Kreider recently became the third Ranger to record 3 goals in a period in a playoff game. Mark Messier and who else have achieved that feat? Matt, you went with Mats Zuccarello. Anthony, you went with the outlier, Derek Stepan. Both of you used the options. Carey, the answer is...
Wayne Gretzky.
I mean, come on. It's like having
It's
Tom
always
Brady.
the outlier, unless it's Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, 0-0 after 1. Let's go to question 2. Who is the all-time leader in points for the Rangers, recording over 1,000 points in his Rangers career? Matt, without the options, you said Mark Messier. Anthony, without the options, you said Mark Messier. Marshy, the answer is...
Well, it's got to be the outlier, Rod Gilbert.
Rod Gilbert.
Yeah.
Rod Gilbert.
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 Forgot
Brian
about Gilbert.
Leach was second. Mark Messier's 5th.
No kidding.
Yeah. So,
How do you get Gilbert from Gilbert?
the French guy.
Nah.
I mean, you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but that's okay.
I mean, I won't.
All right, question number 3. The last time the Rangers won the Cup in 1994, who was the Blues captain at that time? Matt, you said Brett Hull. Anthony, you also said Brett Hull. Answer is...
It is Brett Hull.
And you both used the options. 1-1 after 3 comes down to the final question. After playing 11 seasons in St. Louis, Brett Hull played for the Dallas Stars, the Detroit Red Wings, and which other team before retiring? Matt, you said the Phoenix Coyotes. Anthony, you said the Phoenix Coyotes. Answer is...
It is the Phoenix Coyotes.
But Anthony didn't use the options.
I was looking for my pen.
You have chosen.
You sly dog. I was looking for my pen. I thought we were going to
Anthony
a
got you
walk-off.
3-2 today, Matt.
I appreciate the time. Fellas, have been fun. Anthony, hopefully this puts you on a run.
Yeah, man, thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thanks for listening, and thanks for playing today, man. I'm glad you got through.
Absolutely. Have a good one, pal.
Take care,
you
buddy.
too. Thanks, man.
See you, Matt.
Man, I feel bad. Matt's a really nice guy. Marsh, you should have beat him, not me.
No. He's been a listener, too, from the beginning with DeMarco and Randy.
Oh, that's
great. Because I asked him, I said, are you a regular listener? Because, the category is hockey. And it's like, you're not going to believe this,
Yeah.
And so, but no, he's a big-time listener, so we appreciate Matt very
Thanks,
much.
Matt. Yeah, long-time listener.
Ruin his day.
Yeah.
Well.
Funny thing about that last year for Brett Hull is Brett Hull really didn't play the full season. I remember I was still with the Red Wings, and we were traveling to Phoenix. I called Hully a couple of days before. I said, hey, want to go grab a bite to eat? Maybe crush a few dozen beers? And he is like,
dozen?
He goes, yeah. He goes, my kids are in town, and we're taking a day off. He goes, I think I'm done. I was like, what? He goes, I think I'm just going to retire, probably tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And so it was like 14 games into the season. That was after the lockout year.
Yeah.
I don't think Hully had applied himself very much during the lockout year. And sure enough, his kids were there, his Darcy, his wife, and then we met up at the rink before he announced his retirement. He goes, you're going to go in the room. I'm going to go tell the media some things. And we stood there, and Brett Hull retires right there.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty wild.
Anthony's 10-2 in hockey. Let's give it up for him.
Good job.
All right. Thank you. I don't know. The way you told that story it's like Lou Brown. Oh, I don't know. I got another guy on the line with some white walls. Can I think about it?
It was. He's like, Gretz has me not even on the power play. He's got me playing with two kids that I don't even know. I've never heard of them. He's like, I'm done with this crap. I was like, okay. He goes, what does Wayne think? Wayne's like, he thinks I'm done too.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I made it easy.
Yeah.
All right, it's a Fast Lane on 101 at ESPN. Speaking of the Blues have the structure in place to add an impactful free agent. That's next on 101 ESPN. last night on 101 ESPN. I was driving into work today, and I was listening to BK and Ferrario, and Ferrario said something about they were talking about free agents and things like that. And one of the comments, or one of the players that was brought up was Sam Bennett from Florida, and Alex was talking about how you sign somebody like that, he comes in, maybe it's a situation. If I heard Alex correctly, I think he made a really good point about how you sign somebody in a really good team, and unless it's a Matthew Tkachuk who's a unicorn, or Brady Tkachuk who's a unicorn, of course, one of the top players in the league, you're really relying on and hoping that player, his skill set will just simply transfer over.
Yeah.
And you don't know if a lot of the success, and forget Sam Bennett, let's just call him player A. A lot of that player's success came because he was surrounded, and he was just a perfect fit for that line, that team, etc. So my question to you guys is, if the Blues add somebody in free agency, do they have a sound structure? Do they have a foundation already in place that they can build upon? Because you're never one player away. I think fans get excited. We get excited. You add a player like season saver, but in reality, you're adding a player that you actually don't know is going to fit. So do you think, Jamie and Carey, that they have a foundation in place that is already rock solid, and now you just add to kind of tweak and build just a little bit?
To a certain degree, I feel like they do, but then you're almost foolish for saying they do. When you see some of the inconsistencies continue even last year, and some of the losses down the stretch where you needed your best performances, you're obviously not rock solid.
Sure. And by the way, I understand, like, some player, like Jake Neighbors, he's got to take another step. There's a lot of guys that have to take another step. I'm really just talking about the foundation. You don't have a perfect product. You missed the playoffs the last 2 years. But what I'm saying is there enough to build on?
Well, obviously there is. When you have more than one young guy in your lineup, that means you have enough to build with. Otherwise, you'd be in a rebuild and just put all the young guys in the lineup. Mm-hmm. And so, a player like Sam Bennett, and I'm just going to use him because you used him in your example.
Sure.
Like, he's not going to have the same success here. He plays with Matthew Tkachuk. He plays on the same line as Matthew Tkachuk for the last couple of years. You're not getting Matthew Tkachuk if you come to the St. Louis Blues. Sam Bennett will be your second-line center, which means he'll play with, depending on who is where in the lineup, you get like a Jake Neighbors and Zach Bolduc, maybe. No disrespect to those guys. They're not Matthew Tkachuk. Mm-hmm. And so, and on the other side of it is Carter Verhaeghe, who's a 40-goal scorer.
Sure.
So, but I do believe a player like Sam Bennett would help the Blues. That's why I brought up Chandler Stevenson from Vegas. Like, you need a guy that's got some speed, he's got some grit, he's got some offensive upside, can play a good 200-foot game. That's what you're needing to add. And player like that, now he helps build your foundation. So just going to sign the big shiny toy who's like a talented player doesn't necessarily mean that player is going to come in and help your foundation and help your culture and your core group. It could be the opposite. Sometimes those shiny toys get to the team that's in a retool or that is, working their way back up, and it doesn't vibe well. It doesn't mix well. Mm-hmm. So you have to be very selective as to what kind of player you're bringing in right now while you're in this retool period.
I think a perfect example of that is Johnny Gaudreau with the with the Blue Jackets, a team that didn't have that structure that you're talking about. They bring in a high-end player like Gaudreau, and they still don't have success because one guy can't do everything,
and he can't even. That's a really good example, Marsh. It's like, hey, we're going to add this guy, and we're going to be significantly better. Mm-hmm. No, you're not. Mm-hmm. You're never one player away. And I think a lot of teams operate that way. Maybe not Columbus, but, Carey, we see that in the NFL, too.
That kind of goes back to the Caitlin Clark conversation we had earlier.
Sure.
When you draft a player first overall, that team is probably still...
Please save us.
not good enough.
We're terrible.
If you have a bad team and you bring in... I think it's important to bring in players that do fit your scheme. I think that's one of the things when you're looking at other players, the type of scheme they play, the type of players they play with, how are they able to fit into what you do, and do they mesh well? Because, there's a lot of stress when you sign a big contract going into a new city. That's why guys generally like to stay put, because they're familiar with everything, their families are there. But signing a new contract and going to a new city and having those expectations placed on you, like, there's some stress there for that. Mm-hmm. But there are so many factors. I think it's mainly just, do you have the pieces in place for player X to come in and have success?
And I think right now for the Blues, this offseason and next offseason, these are very pivotal moments for them, because you have a really good stable of young talent that is either just cracked your lineup or wanting to crack your lineup in the next couple of years. Some of the Swedish guys they've picked up, those guys in a year could be impactful. Some of those defensemen they picked up, like Lindstein, and that could be a pillar on your team. So Doug Armstrong has the difficult job of creating this new foundation, or continuing to build with what he's got, but at the same time allowing a little bit of runway for development of these young guys who could end up being big pieces of it. Dalibor Dvorsky is another. We talked about him earlier. Like, if you, out of the 5 or 6 players that are, looked at as to be, can't miss NHL players, if 3 of them, even 2 of them hit, it makes a massive difference to this roster. Mm-hmm. It does. It changes everything, especially if it's a defenseman that hits. Because now you've added a franchise-type defenseman. I'm not saying an Alex Pietrangelo, because that's unfair to any kid coming in. But maybe you've got the next Colton Parayko. Maybe you've got another guy like you're looking, holy crap, like, this is a really big boost for us, and that creates that roster depth again. Yeah. So, although the big shiny toy sometimes is fun to look at, and you imagine a player X, Y, or Z that comes in and is like, well, he had 40 goals with so-and-so, or like Demarchi's played Johnny Gaudreau. He's just the wrong fit. Like, if you added Johnny Gaudreau to this lineup, it wouldn't help. Johnny Gaudreau had his biggest successes playing alongside a guy named Matthew Tkachuk. Yeah. It's a fact.
Right.
So you got to find the right pieces. And at the end of it all, quite honestly, you have to be very aware of what you're adding to your group.
Right. And that's not to say that you shouldn't add the shiniest of all free agents, but you better be damn sure that you're only adding to a situation where it's almost a juggernaut. Like, if that's what the Dodgers do, like by adding Mookie Betts at that time, or adding Shohei Ohtani, that's what take the sledgehammer to the fly, as opposed to a bad team looking to shortcut everything by handing a bunch of money, giving a bunch of money out to a player that is not on the same timeline as what you currently have in your organization. Columbus, for an example, right? We're going to spend a lot of money on Johnny Gaudreau. We're going to fast track this thing. No, you're not. And then on top of that, like you said, Jamie, he's playing alongside Matthew Tkachuk. So how much are his numbers legit, and how much are on steroids, because he's playing alongside one of the best.
All right. We get a text from 314. It says, I don't know, guys. I think adding Matthews or a McDavid would put us over the top.
Yeah, that's where we started with pushing those guys aside.
No, but I'm not. Sure, sign them or trade them. Bring them in. The Maple Leafs played 7 more games than the Blues did. How'd that work out? Their roster is a 100-point season, over a 100-point season. Connor McDavid, they're in the conference final, but there's no guarantee that we've seen the deficiencies of those teams. And those players are on good teams. So imagine putting them here in St. Louis, where your team is still in a retool. I'm not saying they wouldn't score goals, but if they would, they'd get their cookies. They'd get their points. But would your team ultimately be a more competitive team? At the surface, maybe. But again, I'll reiterate what I said. Austin Matthews the Maple Leafs played 7 more games than the Blues. That's it.
Yeah.
We had a texter bring up Ryan O'Reilly. I wonder, do you think the Blues had the same success in 2019 if you don't add ancillary pieces like Tyler Bozak, you bring back David Perron, Pat Maroon, and it's just Ryan O'Reilly?
No,
I
don't.
Which is why I think that's why Army.
Great question.
I think that's why Army did what he did, was he had a feeling that the Ryan O'Reilly deal was about to happen, but his first signing was he went and got Bozak and Perron. And everybody's losing their mind. Is that really? Is this what we're doing?
Fire him.
And then he made the trade and got Ryan O'Reilly, and then he signed Pat Maroon later on.
Yeah.
And that made the world of difference. You look at those four guys. All four of those players were big pieces of the leadership group and the character that they had.
Absolutely.
That makes a difference. So, Army, that's the right way to do it. The way Army did it in the offseason of 2018, 2019, that was a master craft in how to make your team a competitor immediately.
It certainly was. Which NFL teams could be flying under the radar right now? That's next on 101 ESPN.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals pick up a victory against the Baltimore Orioles last night in Game 1 of this series. 6-3 the final. Lance Lynn takes the mound tonight, going up against Kyle Bradish. First pitch is at 6:45. Tonight on 101 ESPN, you can listen to Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final in the NBA as the Boston Celtics take on the Indiana Pacers. Pregame for that one starts at 6:30. We'll have our Sports Six-Pack coming up here soon, so get your questions into the Sports Six-Pack. The Air Comfort Service text line is 314-399-9646. But coming up next, we have which NFL teams are flying under the radar. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
Last Friday, I saw that ESPN.com put together an article about how the Jets could win the Super Bowl. Yes, the New York Football Jets. Now, I laughed. It did remind me, though, of Jamie bringing up Greenberg, old Greeny, Jets fan himself, talking about how the Jets are, Super Bowl bound to.
14-win team.
Yeah, I laughed then. I laughed when I saw the ESPN article. Here's the thing. And my mother, who's probably listening right now, shout out to Carol.
Shout out, Carol.
Shout out.
Sweet woman.
Yes.
She loves her Jets.
Oh.
She's from New York, long tortured Jets fan. She knows, though, that they're not going to win anything. Ever. However.
Ever. That's
ever.
Time.
It's a long time.
Pause for dramatic effect. Ever. If it's not the Jets, though, who else is flying under the radar for you guys?
To win a championship?
Yeah, and Jamie, you can't like say, no, maybe not. Hold on, maybe not to win a championship, okay? Because there's only a few teams. You can't say the Chiefs. I know where you'll go the direction the Chiefs or the Niners.
I think the Chiefs aren't going to. I don't think they're going to win it this year.
What the hell do you have to base that off of?
The Chargers, the 1 year.
Yeah. So, they didn't come off a Super Bowl championship, did they?
No, but they're a playoff team. We're talking about deep sleepers.
It was a really good answer to a bad question. Okay?
Spin rate. Carey, go ahead.
I'm
like the team
to surprise some people.
To surprise people.
Yeah, define surprise.
I'm going to probably say the Chicago Bears.
Oh God, he's back on this. Remember last year he did the same thing.
Loves those Bears.
On the Chicago.
He did the same thing last year.
Chicago
Justin Fields.
Bears. But they got
that's his NFC team.
Yeah, I mean, I lived in Illinois for a while. Chicago's like a second home for me and Anthony. A first home for Anthony. Well, maybe it's New York. Sure. I don't know. But I think the Bears have done a really good job over the past couple of years of adding to their team. I thought that Justin Fields would take a step forward last year. He didn't. But they went out and they drafted Caleb Williams first overall. They got Rome Odunze. They got a lot of receivers to help. They upgraded their offensive line. I think the Chicago Bears in a division. The only reason Jamie doesn't want me to say the Bears is because his Detroit Lions are in the same division.
We're not worried about your Bears.
So that's one of the reasons why Jamie is frustrated.
Think Dan Campbell worries about bears? No.
I think so, yeah. Probably.
To wrestle a lion, he doesn't care about a bear.
He might.
Very true.
But
okay, so now you define it then.
For me, that's a team that, I mean, they had the first overall pick, so winning 9, maybe double-digit games.
Have a winning season,
maybe a wild card team.
Right,
that to me is a successful season for the Bears.
All right.
Are we picking teams that did not make the playoffs last year?
Yeah.
What about the Indianapolis Colts? I saw a photo of Anthony Richardson, and he looks huge. I wonder if he could have...
Like in a good way?
Yes. Like, he is ripped.
You never know. Look at Zion. What happened to him?
No, not Zion. No, not that type of huge.
I'm glad you said Zion.
What?
You tend to pick on a certain Cardinal.
There's a couple of them.
Nah, that's
one specific.
Move along. Marshy, what you got?
Backup shortstop?
Maybe.
Anyways, he looks
his
big.
fault, not mine.
Obviously, he did not have a full season due to his injury, but I wonder if he could have a C.J. Stroud-esque year.
Okay.
Where Houston, get some pieces, and then they find themselves in the playoffs. The Colts, I wonder if they could do that. I mean, they were right there last year in the playoff mix until they weren't.
Yeah.
What about the Chargers?
I thought we were going in order here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You had your turn.
Hey, this guy.
Jeez, Carey. How'd you pick all the NFL teams, Carey?
Go ahead, Carey.
No, you go ahead.
No.
Sorry. I apologize.
You know what? I appreciate your passion. You are the NFL guy. I appreciate your passion. I was going Chargers. I was, just simply because you're going to have Justin Herbert back, and you've got Harbaugh now as the head coach, and Harbaugh's never had a losing season in the NFL. I could see the Chargers making the playoffs. That would be, to me, that's a big swing. They only won 5 games last year.
Yeah. All right.
With a coach.
Carey, who's the next one?
Grim. What's his name? What was the coach's name?
Oh, Griff
Smith.
Grim. Yeah, Grim Reaper. Griff Smith. Yeah.
Griff Smith.
All right. Marsh, you asked about, are we taking non-playoff teams from a year ago? I'm going to say a team that's flying under the radar that actually did make the playoffs last year, but I'm talking about flying under the radar for a potential Super Bowl appearance. Green Bay Packers.
Why did I knew you were going to go there?
Green Bay Packers. Youngest defense a year ago. Waxed Dallas in Dallas. Should have beat San Francisco in San Francisco. Jordan Love coming into his own. The receivers that they have, Josh Jacobs now. I liked Aaron Jones a lot, but they replaced him with Josh Jacobs. But that defense, offensive line solid, young quarterback, young team overall. Plenty of, had some playoff experience last year. Packers to surprise and make a Super Bowl run.
I'm not even joking here at all. What do you guys feel like about the Falcons? And I'm serious, because they're in a really weak division, which means they could easily win their division. And that would be a big improvement on being 7-10 last year. And if Kirk Cousins goes in there, or Penix, and they both, whoever it is, contributes, I think it'll be predominantly Kirk Cousins that goes in there and gets the majority of the starts, if not all of them. But that's a pretty good team. They've been missing the quarterback element. You win that division, is that enough to, would that impress you guys?
I'll let you guys speak on it.
Would it impress me?
Yeah.
And that division is terrible.
Okay.
Somebody's
good.
got to win it.
Somebody does, and last year nobody really wanted to, but I guess the Bucs said, okay, if we have to, we will.
Shaky Bakey said, bring that here.
Bring it here. I don't know. I think the Falcons, I think the Falcons probably should win that division and be bounced after the wild card game.
Yeah, if we're talking about Super Bowl, I just can't see it. I don't know.
No, I think what Jamie's saying is make the playoffs. You're saying win the division, make the playoffs, maybe win a game.
Yeah, maybe win.
Oh yeah, that's definitely possible.
Like when you're a non-playoff team to then go win your division.
Oh yeah,
that's, to me, that's a successful turnaround.
Yeah, I think Kirk Cousins can win a game. I don't know if he can go far into the playoffs. He also has to have a good defense. Kirk Cousins, I know we talk about his primetime games. A lot of his primetime games, he puts up decent numbers, but his defense sort of lets him down. And Anthony, you could speak more to the Falcons defense than I could, given that you're a fan of the team. But I don't.
From Atlanta.
Yeah, yes.
Buckhead.
But I don't know if that team. To me, that is a team that has really sparkly weapons, but I don't know if they have a great team.
Yeah. The offense is really good. The offensive line is set. I mean, they won 7. To Jamie's point, they won 7 games last year with no quarterback. I mean, that's tough to do. And no, they didn't just win the divisional games. The defense is the question mark. I like their secondary. Bates was phenomenal last year coming in from Cincinnati. They got A.J. Terrell, who's one of the top corners in the league, but they don't have a pass rush. So can Raheem Morris kind of work his magic on that side of the ball? After they acquired, they loaded up defensively. Everybody talks about the Michael Penix deal in the first round. They're like, well, I don't have a pass rush. Well, then they went defense the entire way. So if he can build off of what the defense did a year ago, which actually played pretty well, and Kirky Boy Cousins can play, solid ball, I think they win the division.
We have a text from the 618. I actually like this question. What about Arizona? Obviously,
What about them?
Nothing.
What about it?
What about it?
They just lost their hockey team.
Yeah.
What else?
Moving along.
You got Kyler Murray,
Exactly.
who I think is better than what Jamie says. You got Marvin
He has
Harrison
proven
Jr.
me right since the moment I said it. Years ago.
Marvin Harrison Jr. You have James Conner, who had a good year.
Yeah.
You have Zay Jones now. You have some pieces there. Obviously, Kyler Murray will be healthy heading into the season. And I don't know about the NFC West. Like, what are the Rams going to be? Are they going to be the team that they were last year? Aaron Donald's not there anymore. What are the Seahawks going to do? Are they going to regress? Obviously, the 49ers will be in the mix because they're the best team in that division. But perhaps Arizona can make a wild card spot. I don't know.
Boy, they don't. They do not have a lot of talent defensively, like at all. I mean, I'm questioning Atlanta's defense. They at least have a couple of sporadic pieces. Arizona defensively is not good. I could see them, maybe winning some games they're not supposed to because Kyler Murray makes a couple plays and all that, but that's a tougher division.
They should win because
Certainly.
Kyler Murray makes a couple plays.
Yeah. Top to bottom, it's a tougher division than the NFC South. I'm not seeing it. I'll give the Texans this. They'll win more than 4 games, which is what they had a year ago.
5,
for sure.
6.
Yeah.
More.
They'll have 2 more wins.
Are we in agreement that there are really only 4 teams that have a chance to really win a Super Bowl?
Chiefs, Niners,
I thought we
Ravens.
said 7.
Oh, yeah, Anthony had 7.
You had 7.
Oh, hold on.
Have?
You guys
that
had
can win
7.
a Super
I
Bowl.
took 7.
I took
the list.
I'm looking at it now, and I may want to retract that. I got the Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
The Niners.
Ravens.
And the Eagles.
What about the Lions?
The Lions. Give me 5.
Eagles, Lions?
Don't disrespect the Lions.
But
Stop it.
At some point, I like Jared Goff, right? I think he's a fine, swell fella. At some point.
Swell fella.
Some point.
That sounds
condescending. Yeah, condescending.
No, he's swell.
Disrespectful.
Swell fella.
Hey, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Are you describing Kirk?
No.
I'll give you that.
I mean,
he is a swell guy.
They're very similar.
Thank you. In my opinion, they
Jared
are.
Goff's gotten a team to a Super Bowl.
In my opinion.
Nearly did it twice.
Yeah, how'd he do in that Super Bowl?
They did not fare well. I just think they're essentially the same guy. I will give Kirk. I will give
Kirk. Then
I will give the Atlanta Falcons this, Anthony, which I didn't realize. They lost 5 games by 5 points or less last year. So
that's correct.
They may be.
They're probably leading in all of them.
Probably. Well, one of them was 9-7.
Minnesota was one of them.
9-7. I don't think.
The Carolina game, they were up.
Yeah, I don't know.
Old Desmond Ridder hit a Carolina defender like he was in the route.
He hit him so good in the numbers that it scared the piss out of him.
It totally did.
Yeah.
Like
me?
He thought the Panther defender was running a slant route, and he hit him perfectly.
Right
yeah.
They should call him Desmond Riddler because he's such a question mark, Anthony.
That's a good one.
He's such a joke.
You know where
he's
he's
a joker.
You know where he's at now, right?
Not
the Riddler.
Oh, the Riddler.
Oh,
Desmond Riddler is with your Arizona Cardinals now.
And why don't they're not my Arizona Cardinals?
If Kyler Murray gets hurt, Desmond's behind
I
him.
thought you were asking where the Riddler is now. I think he's in Arkham Asylum, but
yeah, probably. Yeah, he's in and out. He's in and out. All right, it's a Fast Line on 101 ESPN. We got our Sports Six Pack next. So if you got a Sports Six Pack question, 314-399-9646 is your comfort service tax line. Sports Six Pack next.
time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
It's the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter. Time for the Sports Six-Pack. Marsh, go!
Question number 1.
All right, this one comes from the Water Boy. With Joe Buck and Chip Carey calling the game on Friday, what other announcers would you like to hear call a game together? Doesn't necessarily have to be just baseball, all sports included.
What announcers?
Alive?
Living or right? That's
Let's go with living.
Kevin Harlan with Jamie Rivers. Carey's on the sidelines. Oh. And Marsh is on backup.
Okay.
What am I, the cable grip?
Yes.
Nice.
Nice, strong grip.
Yep.
Right.
Marsh is producing, and then when Kevin Harlan gets sick, Marsh steps in. Then it's Marsh, Jamie, Carey on the sideline.
What sport are we doing?
Doesn't matter.
Basketball.
Might as well say cricket.
I say hockey.
Anthony, you know what's funny?
You're at hockey.
You know what's funny about your story is that's actually how I got into broadcasting.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. You do a great job with Maryville.
Messing around behind the scenes, and then my boss was like, hey, you look like you're interested in this kind of stuff. Want to do sideline for basketball?
Yes,
and
I do.
Said, sure. And here we are.
And then you did the PA announcing or whatever for that.
For the Rascals.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I actually met Marsh years ago. Mm-hmm. Didn't know, though. Didn't know him. But he did the PA announcing when we had the...
it was the celebrity softball game.
Yeah.
And then they switched it to the home run derby.
Yes. So it was the last softball. That was a lot of fun.
Back to the softball game.
I agree.
Quite honestly.
That was when I got ham sauce with Pat Maroon, who was still drinking after the cup run. Like he hadn't stopped.
He hasn't yet.
I don't think he has. Yeah. I walked into that little area, you know, like the clubhouse there, the little clubhouse. And I went back in, I don't know, forget water or something like that, grabbing something, and it was Maroon, and he was in there. He goes, is anybody drinking? I got you, Pat. So, yeah. Jeff Burton was there. Jeff was phenomenal, as always. But yeah, Marsh was doing the PA stuff. So, anyways, good times. Great oldies. Next question.
Question number 2.
From the 661, disclaimer, you are all amazing at your jobs.
Oh, thank you.
Don't change a thing.
Oh, thanks.
But if you could pursue another career, what would it be? I'm assuming Rivers would be a swimsuit model, so
Yes.
I'm answering for him. This question is definitely not from Mo, by the way.
Like, seriously, do something else? I don't know what I could do.
I mean, I don't mind the swimsuit model option.
Mm-hmm.
What was your dream, like, profession growing up? Like, what did you want to be?
Secret Service.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think it's too late for that.
Can't do that when you have a record, though.
That was the problem.
Yeah.
How about you guys, other than professional sports?
Growing up, I wanted to be a fireman.
That's right. Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Riding on or trash collector, just riding on the back of the truck.
There you go. He wanted to be on the back of a truck.
That guy was always cool. Jump off, got it in motion, grab the trash, throw it in.
Man,
flip the can, back on.
Get right back on one hand.
And every now and then you get to pull the lever and brush all the garbage.
Waving to the kids in the neighborhood.
There.
Oh, man.
Carey Davis, your friendly trash man.
There you go.
I don't know if in my life I ever thought of doing anything else except being a hockey player. I honestly have no idea.
Well, Isn't that terrifying? Because I have the same thought. I'm like, what would I do?
Yeah.
I think I told Jamie this the other day when
Somebody
we
would hire me,
ran
right?
into each other happenstance. I wanted to be a professional Zamboni driver.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I
you
used
go.
to collect those little Zambonis with the little guys that you could put in the driver's seat.
That was your dream.
That was my dream. I have never driven a Zamboni in my life.
We got to get
that.
John. Yeah.
I mean, great. I might run right into the boards and ruin the ice rink, but hey, first time for everything.
When I was like 6, I was in the back seat of the car. My parents were in the front seat, and I said to them, I said, hey, I know what I want to be when I grow up. And as my parents tell the story, they thought, okay, let's see what he says, right? Scientist or an astronaut or firefighter. My grandfather was a firefighter. Yeah. This is going to make us proud. And I said, I want to drive the carts at Kmart. I wanted to collect all the carts from Kmart.
It's not.
I thought it was the coolest job in the world.
It's terrible. I did it at Venture when I was in high school. Venture.
I remember Venture.
It was
the knockoff Kmart.
Oh, it was terrible. Oh, man.
I did the same thing
buddy.
at Schnucks.
It was awful. It looks cool.
Yeah.
It is not. Especially when it's cold outside and there's slush and ice on the ground. Oh, no.
I didn't think that through. I looked out my window and I saw everybody, that person collecting those carts at Kmart. I said, that's what I want to do.
I will say, when I was working at Schnucks, I was a bag boy. And then when we would have a lot of people running through, I was like, you know what? I really want to go outside and get those carts right now.
Yeah, you do.
That was the only time I really wanted to push the carts. And then you have like 20 of them. You're like pushing.
Oh, yeah.
In the snow or the rain.
It's terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a period in my life where I thought I wanted to be a tattoo artist.
I could see that.
Yeah. But I have no artistic ability.
I was going to say, can you draw?
No. No. I mean, depends what you're looking for and what kind of detail.
Yeah. I don't think
you
so.
had your own business in printing jerseys, right? And T-shirts.
Right. Yes.
You could have been the guy that designed the City Connect jerseys.
Oh. There you go.
Could have been you.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I think we got through, what, 2 questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's carry this over. Sports Six Pack continue next on 101 ESPN.
man. It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
501, your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers. Officially licensed Rolex jeweler with Carey Davis, Jamie Rivers, Anthony Stalter, Andrew Marsh, continuing our Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 3.
This one comes from the 636. With the Cardinals' recent turnaround in the winning, they've been doing that. Will it be enough for Marmol to keep his job? Do you think that he has done anything to change this team or deserve to keep his job?
Wow. I don't think he has done anything that is special, and I don't think that he's done anything that has prevented the Cardinals from being better than what they are. I think we overvalue that position. But he's also he doesn't have any sort of like magic touch. That's clear.
Well, what about the ejection?
I think he's the epitome of fine.
I think he was probably not going to lose his job either way it went. Because they signed him to an extension.
Yeah.
And so, there was a level of frustration because the Cardinals had not been playing well and performing well. But who do you, if you were to fire Oli Marmol, who comes in midway through the season and takes over? Or do you just go with the bench coach? Because essentially you got the message is not going to shift that much.
No.
From one person to the next that's already here on staff. So
I agree.
I didn't think that, and again, like you said, I didn't think that Oliver Marmol has not taken one at bat, has not fielded one baseball. I checked.
I do not think that they would replace Oli midseason. I agree with that. I think they let it play out. And they're not going to do it, but I'd hire Joe Madden. Assuming he wants to come out of retirement or whatever the hell he's doing.
You love Joe Madden?
Damn right.
Like, really?
Yeah.
It'd be a great fix.
Do you think?
Temporarily. 2-3 years.
Do you know something we don't?
No, I'm just wondering.
What's your problem with Joe?
I don't have a problem with Joe.
What do you have on Joe that we don't know?
I don't know. I don't.
If we're wrong for liking him, tell us why we shouldn't.
Question. He was thrilled about Joe Madden, and I just asked, do you really like him?
If it's wrong,
stink.
If it's wrong to like Joe Madden, I don't want to be right.
Loving you is wrong.
2-time World Series champion.
This is true.
All right, Joe.
1.
I thought it was 1.
Went to the World Series with the Rays in 2008.
I thought it was
like,
1.
Let him roll.
I was going to let you roll, but I was like, I'm sure it's 1.
World Series appearance.
There you go.
Guy. Maker.
Question number 4.
From the 636, Jamie, if you're going to add a player to the Blues, would you focus on a big, bad defenseman or someone with some offensive punch? Love the show as always, especially the cereal fart discussion.
Yes.
That was a good one.
For all of that, by the way.
Absolutely.
You too, Carey.
I don't know how I got roped into that.
I've said it from the beginning. I want to add Nikita Zadorov. That type of player. He had 8 points in these playoffs, 4 goals, 4 assists. He was an absolute monster out there. Evander Kane, who is one of the tougher players in the NHL, wanted nothing to do with Nikita Zadorov by the end of this series. Zadorov put him into the bench with a hit, then drilled him and put him on the ice and gave him a bit of a beat down. It was unreal. That's the kind of guy the Blues need to discourage some of the other team's top players from just doing whatever they want in the offensive zone.
Mm-hmm.
And Zadorov really evolved his offensive game with the Vancouver Canucks. I think you could continue to draw from that. He's quite the character, too, and he wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's a pretty good leader. For me, that would be my top priority, is securing a top 4 defenseman that brings some sandpaper to the lineup.
Question number 5.
From the 636, if you could play one game with one player, living or deceased, in your respective sport, who would it be?
Ooh.
I've played with a lot of guys.
Seriously.
I mean, you say Wayne Gretzky, but I played with Wayne Gretzky, played with Brett Hull, played with Lidstrom, Yzerman, a lot of those guys. I'm trying to think of somebody.
Jaromir Jagr.
What about Bobby Orr?
Bobby Orr, that's exactly where I was headed. Was, play a game with Bobby Orr. All I'd have to do is pass the puck D to D, and I'd get probably 4 or 5 points that night.
That's the Ryan Whitney way.
Pretty much, yeah. For me, Bobby Orr would be, man, to be so much fun, be so easy.
It would probably be Jim Brown for me. Like just being in the backfield with him, it would probably.
That'd be really cool.
Oh man, that would probably be really exciting.
It'd be intimidating.
Oh man,
He's looking over at you while you're wearing pads, and he's like, "I ain't wearing pads."
Yeah, probably. No pads
He's got the one bar.
Okay.
The face mask has one bar.
He was famous for not wearing the hip pads.
No
he's
pads.
Like, no
I think
pads.
it's slowing me down.
What about Barry Sanders?
Oh, I would have loved that. That's probably a level of frustration though.
Yeah.
Because he did such a good job of just, improvising and finding things that were not there.
Mm-hmm.
I would much rather have watched Barry Sanders while I was on the opposing team.
Watch him dance around you?
Yeah, like to see it in person would probably been absolutely ridiculous.
Did you see that Barry Sanders documentary on Amazon?
Yep.
How funny is that where teammates are like, yeah, we had no idea where he was going sometimes.
Nobody.
Like the play was called one way and then Barry went like the other way.
He just, there was something about him that, most running backs, really any running backs, haven't had or had before or after him.
There's nobody.
Spectacular.
There's never been anybody like Barry Sanders.
Nothing that can compare.
Like Le'Veon Bell, the way that his patient approach is another unique style.
Yes.
You
I hadn't seen anything like that.
But Barry, no.
The thing that stuck out with him is the way that he was able to just stop on a dime and go the other way. How do you work on that as a running back?
That's just a God-given talent.
Yeah.
The ability to start and stop and be able to accelerate in the manner in which he does, because he already you didn't see him get caught from behind, but the ability to stop in the hole and then get going as quickly as he did, that's something that you really can't teach that, because people can't do that at that level, which is why he's a Hall of Fame running back and why he was different from anything you've ever seen before or after.
No doubt.
Question number 6.
All right, so we got tagged in the snake pit on YouTube from Brandon. It just said fast lane bucket list. So what's on your guys' bucket list, if there's any?
This anything in the world?
Anything in the world on your bucket list.
The Roman Coliseum.
That's a good one.
I was actually going to go on my birthday in 2020, which is in March, which is when the world shut down. Had it paid for. Yeah.
Oops.
Oh, no.
They got refunded, though.
Ish.
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 World shut down.
It didn't feel quite the same, right,
It didn't
Carey?
feel like everything that I put in was given back. Yeah.
Sometimes you put in more than you get back, for sure.
Yeah, in
well said.
many ways, yeah.
Bucket list. Man, I don't know. I think I'd like to go skydiving. I mean, that's not much of a bucket list thing, but I think that'd be fun.
Kind of.
Yeah, it is.
I think it'd be kind of fun.
You got to be attached to somebody your first time.
I'm not attaching myself to some
You
other
are
dude.
going to be attached.
No,
He's behind
I'm gonna sign
you.
a waiver. What?
And
no,
it
thanks.
sounds like
if we're doing it, I'll tell you what. He's not behind me.
Jamie, you have to. It's the rules.
Yeah, I think he's behind you, strapped on.
Yeah, he's strapped on.
Now I'm out. It's no longer on my bucket list.
You said it. It's over.
No, I'm going to go to that special school where you just do it by yourself.
I don't think there's no insurance
It's
that
my
will provide
bucket list,
that.
okay?
That's a guy in the back alley you hand money to, and he'll just
take you up on a plane.
Yeah,
buddy.
drop kick you out of a plane.
See, I'm fine with that.
A crop
fair
duster.
enough. Yeah.
How about you, Anthony?
Bucket list. Probably watch my favorite football team not blow a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl while I'm there.
We're past.
Oh, while you're there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, that changes things.
Because I already saw it on TV.
Right.
So, yeah.
Being there and seeing it.
I'm not one of those guys like, oh, yeah, I want to see something. I don't care. You know? I know that's like heartbreaking to a lot of people. Like, oh, don't you want to see it? No, I don't. really don't.
We got to find you some.
You know what I mean?
Some things that.
You gotta find him some motivation.
Don't you want to go to Paris and see it? No, I'm good. I know I want to appreciate it.
You've lived all over the world, so I mean, it's probably.
I certainly have lived all over the greatest United States of America. That's for sure, Carey. I'll give you that. You know what I mean?
What about you, Marsh? Since Mr. Stalter has nothing that he's interested in doing in life.
Listen.
Oh, you know what? You're living your bucket life.
Thank you.
Your bucket list. There.
My bucket list is every day.
There you go.
Whatever I'm doing, it's my bucket list.
I love that. That's awesome.
Even if it's illegal.
I wasn't allowed to do whatever I wanted. I had to have a guy strapped onto me from behind.
Listen, Jamie, like you said, that is your bucket list.
No, it wasn't.
You
really.
want some guy with a strap on right there on the back or strapped on the back.
Yeah.
As you guys jump out of a plane together. Hey, man, that's cool.
It was fine until I found out what the rules are.
Well, and once the rules are set, they're set.
I think it'd be cool to go to a Super Bowl. I mean, you played in one, but
I did.
I feel like it'd be cool. I don't even care who's in it.
Can it be free?
That's my bucket list.
Well,
the price
yeah,
is
the
ridiculous.
prices.
I want to play in a Super Bowl.
So
you want to play in a Super Bowl? That seems
I don't
likely.
think that's.
Hey, I got a good bucket list.
It's my bucket list.
And this is for all of us. It would be to stand on the sidelines for the UFL championship with our St. Louis Battlehawks winning.
Yes.
And calling a play.
And I get to call a play.
We all get to call the play.
We all get to call a play.
No, I don't know that Anthony Becht is going to allow us all.
You're right.
Or any.
Bruce Gradkowski, the offensive coordinator, will allow us to call a play.
He's in the.
No.
He's in the box. He won't be able to hear us unless you actually take some headphones.
I got headphones.
Yeah. Not those headphones.
Your iPod Shuffle won't count.
It won't.
Actually,
why do you guys keep bringing this up? I told you I lost it. This has just been an awful set. First of all, I feel vulnerable. I told you guys that, was being honest about me not really wanting to go see stuff. Felt bad about that. I said I wanted to play in a Super Bowl. You guys crushed that.
Well, you're the guy that started the segment up by going, I don't really like anything like that. I don't really like to do anything.
No, I said I'm living my bucket list every day.
Every day.
Which includes you, Jamie. I appreciate being right here with you. And you, Carey. And you, Marsh.
Thank you.
I appreciate you guys. You guys got to crush me like that.
We love you. But I don't think Super Bowl is in your future. Playing in it. Attending.
Yeah.
Maybe, I tell you what, you got a better chance of coaching in the Super Bowl.
That I believe. Yeah. That I believe, Carey. You saw my playbook.
You don't have to play at the highest level to be a successful coach at
That's right.
the highest level.
There you go.
Ask Arthur Smith.
Yep. He said successful. Are there any more questions?
No, that's it.
All right.
It's a Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. Should Jordan Walker marinate a little bit more in AAA? Or should they just bring his ass up? That's next on 101 ESPN.
If you're looking to insure your car or your home, Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency should be your first phone call. I've always asked Tracy, I ask her several questions all the time because she's full of information. And Tracy Bibb helped me out tremendously when we met. She asked me about my insurance policies, and oddly enough, I really didn't know. I knew how much I was paying, but I wasn't sure about the coverage that I had, and Tracy helped me out. She made a phone call, canceled that insurance, and then I joined the Bibb Agency, and Tracy set up everything for me at the same time as getting me a really good rate, too, to go along with it. And it really is important to know your insurance agent and to have them know you and your family, because when you do call upon them in a stressful time, because none of it is fun, it's always stressful, you're going to want somebody who you can trust, who can get your information quickly and then walk you through the process. And that's exactly what Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency do. They make you feel like you're part of their family. So for that kind of great customer service and a non-committal quote, call Tracy Bibb at 314-328-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb.
I mean, I think like all players, that when they're underperforming, my role is to always think of like what's the best option for them, right? You know, ultimately you're trying to get guys to figure things out up here. Sometimes it's moving too fast and it's impossible. Sometimes it does work out, and so to some level you got to have some patience. But you know, ultimately guys are going to have to perform.
John Mozeliak on the Frank Cusimano interview from KSDK. Jordan Walker, 22 years old. In AAA right now, WRC plus of 111. Average is 318. This is in 17 games and 74 plate appearances. 7 runs, 7 driven in. He's got 2 stolen bases. Walk rate is a little higher than it was here in St. Louis at 9.5. It was 9 here. And the strikeout rate is way down, 13.5 compared to 26.9%. So there's a lot to like. He also has 0.0 home runs. He's putting the ball on the ground a lot, but he's hitting it hard. Would you bring him back up now, or would you let him marinate in AAA, boys? The decision is yours. Don't F it up.
I don't think you need him up right now. Like, you're starting to play some pretty good baseball, and it looks like Jordan Walker's starting to figure out, you know, hitting a little bit. Now, he's only got 1 double throughout his success here in Memphis. He's only got 1 double. that's problematic a little bit. I'd like to see more power. If those are the numbers that he had here at the major league level, then you're kind of fine with it. Like, okay, he's hitting the majors, he's getting on base, But down in AAA, I would expect him to show a little more pop. The pitching's not as good, and I know he's working through some things, but I'd let him marinate right now. I don't see the urgency in bringing him back here, except for Star Wars night, where apparently he's the bobblehead.
It's Jordan Skywalker.
Yeah, Jordan Skywalker. Yeah, so they might bring him back up for that.
Really? That's
is that June 6th?
Yeah, so he could be back any moment, to be honest.
Jordan Skywalker.
In all honesty,
what? You don't remember Kenny Skywalker? He used to play for the Knicks. Really?
Yeah.
What does that have to do with baseball?
He's Skywalker. That's the name.
How about Luke? He's another famous Skywalker.
There you go. But he had a problem with
Weaver. He doesn't pitch anymore.
No. Anakin Skywalker. By the way, did you see the picture of Joe Burrow with long hair? Looks like Anakin Skywalker. I'm not sure if that's real or not, but a lot of people talking about it on the interwebs. Anyways, Jamie.
Yeah, I would leave him down in Memphis and let him continue to grow as a hitter and develop confidence, because you just don't need him right now.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think that, him staying down there and continuing to have success is a major part of when he does come back up, how he feels. It's hard to play at this level when you don't have the confidence, when you're not having success. So him going down, hitting the ball well, whether it's on the ground or whatever, he's getting on base. And those are the things that, help you feel better and feel confident. So I'm all for him having more of that. And then, if it's whenever the bobblehead day is, which I think is June 6th, that's, a couple of weeks away from now, maybe 2 or 3 weeks from now, and you still continue to hit the ball as well as you are right now, you can feel better.
I would also feel better if he had a position, quite frankly.
He's a right fielder every day.
I would feel better if he had a position like first base, or DH,
or third base,
but first base and third base are currently blocked. And I don't know what you guys think, but I don't believe he's an outfielder.
Well, he wasn't his entire career.
Drafted as a third baseman.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. I don't think he's an outfielder.
Well, somebody made a mistake.
Who made a mistake?
Somebody.
Was it
not
Mo?
Preparing themselves? You said it. I didn't.
But you kind of alluded to it.
I didn't say it.
Doesn't count.
Did the Cardinals, had they traded for Arenado before they drafted Walker?
I believe so,
I'm trying to remember
the timeline on that. Yeah.
The timeline, because it would seem very odd for the Cardinals front office, and it's quite possible to just assume that Jordan Walker, he's a third baseman. He's a highly touted young player. You're going to draft him in the first round, and you're just going to say, yeah, we already have our gold glove or platinum glove third baseman.
They drafted Walker before.
Okay, so
they selected Walker in the first round in 2020, and they traded for Arenado in 21.
That just goes to the conversation of getting the best guy despite the position.
Yeah, because you don't know how long he's going to take.
Yeah, but now the position matters. Like, it's fine to say get the best player, but now you've got a player that is playing a position he's never played before. He's clearly struggled, to say the least, and now the offense isn't what you thought it would be yet.
And it's probably, in my opinion, hard to learn a new position in outfield as well as, become a big league hitter. Like, you probably are more comfortable if you're playing the position you've been playing your entire life or your entire upbringing that they drafted you as. And then that transition at the plate probably is a little bit less stressful because that's one less thing on your plate that you have to be working on while you're working on the outfield.
Yeah, I totally agree, because if your offensive game is struggling but you're confident at your position, you can still contribute defensively. And then the team is like, okay, like, he's good defensively. We can keep chipping away at the offense. But Jordan Walker, every time the ball comes off the bat, he's uncomfortable out in right field. Like, he's trying his best. He's a hell of an athlete.
Right.
You can tell that, like, his physical specimen, all of these things. But he's just not in that comfort zone playing right field.
This was a hell of a draft for the Cardinals. If everybody pans out, so Walker and Masyn Winn are the ones we remember from that draft. So Walker, it was a 21st overall pick. Masyn Winn was their second pick. They had a competitive balance round B pick, Tink Hence. So he's sandwich pick, Tink Hens. The other sandwich pick, Alec Burleson.
Not bad.
They don't draft and develop.
No, they draft.
They draft, yeah.
We did get a text from the 314. It says, Arenado also had opt-outs at the beginning, so maybe he was a backup plan for third base.
Here's the thing. I don't blame teams for it takes so long sometimes for a player to develop in Major League Baseball. I don't think they should look at that and say, well, we got a third baseman right now. We're good. Let's not draft a third baseman. I think drafting best player available in baseball is smart.
Well, and Jordan Walker was, only 18?
Yeah, he's coming out of high school. So,
you do think that, but then I think that it's a good lesson, though, too, to try to understand how difficult it might be if said player can't play in that one position because you have a guy.
Yeah, true.
I think you got to evaluate all of it.
Yep. All right. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We've got Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day next. The Missouri Athletic Club always got something going on, whether it's a downtown spot, especially during the Cardinals season, the summertime. It's great. I love to go down there, park the car, get something to eat right there at the Jack Buck Grill, and then take the shuttle over to Busch Stadium. A lot of times go back to the MAC, maybe get something to drink right there at the Jack Buck Grill. It's a great spot. The West Clubhouse, perfect for working out, business, just kind of getting to know people and what they do and taking part of all the events for the family at the West Clubhouse. Perfect spot. That's my MAC, Missouri Athletic Club.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals won last night over the Baltimore Orioles. 6-3 was the final. Lance Lynn will take the mound tonight, going up against Kyle Bradish. First pitch is at 6:45. Tonight we'll have Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final between the Celtics and the Pacers. Some NBA action for you right here on 101 ESPN. Pre-game starts at 6:30. Before that, we'll have an instant replay with Anthony Beck and Charles Barkley, our interviews from yesterday. So if you missed yesterday's interviews, you can check them out with our instant replay show following today's show. Coming up next, we have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
To hit baseballs.
All of my successes depend on me.
You're ready to hit.
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. Time to play Beat the Streak, and we've got a new contestant for our listener group. It's Justin. What's up, Justin?
Hey, guys. How's it going today?
Going very, very well. You ready to streak?
Let's play.
All right, Marsh, update us on those standings, kid.
All right, so unfortunately, Hayden missed yesterday with Adley Rutschman, who did not get a hit. So we have Justin in today. So he will start up at 0. Anthony, your streak is at 2. Jamie's streak is at 4. He leads us. Unfortunately for me and Carey, we did not get a hit yesterday. So Jamie will lead us off. Anthony, you will go second. Then it'll go Carey, me, and Justin.
Marsh, who did you have?
I had Colton Cowser.
What a flea bag. Sorry he did that to you.
I think he had 2 walks, too. He only had 2, quote-unquote, at-bats.
Who's got the longest streak? You? At 5?
I have the longest streak at, I believe it was 6. 6 to start.
All right, Justin, you're up.
You know what, boys? I think Arenado's going to do it for the Lou.
Oh,
well said.
City Connect Lou jerseys. Okay, Justin. Nolan Arenado. All right, so Jamie he doubled down. He went with, who'd you take? Goldschmidt?
Goldie, baby.
R.L. Chalk himself. Mm-hmm. I went with Gunnar Henderson. Marsh took Michael Superbad Siani. CD took Alec Burleson. And Justin, our listener, went with Nolan Arenado. All right, Justin, good luck, man.
All right, boys. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you. That's Beat the Streak. Now it's time for...
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, gentlemen, our biggest question of the day is, are the Cardinals in a similar position as the Blues when it comes to a potential trade deadline decision? They have a few guys that have expiring deals. What do you guys think? With the way that their season has transpired, they're in the playoff mix. Mm-hmm. However, doesn't necessarily feel like they're a playoff team just yet.
So, similar to the Blues, what year? like right now, currently, last trade deadline, two deadlines ago when they were.
Could be last year, not this past season, but 2 years ago, I guess, when they got rid of O'Reilly and Barbashev, or maybe even last year where they decided to hold on to some pieces because they were in a spot to potentially make the playoffs.
Yeah, so based on the fact that they're still only 2.5 back in the second wild card spot, I don't see them cleaning house. I see them maybe potentially adding some kind of a minor piece to their pitching, whether it's another guy for the rotation or if it's bullpen help. I don't see them making any moves with their positional players. I think you'll see pretty much the same Cardinals team throughout the entire season. I think they're going to hold, kind of like the Blues did this past season that just went by.
I feel like it depends on, if things shift, if they get closer or if they get further back in the wild card or Central Division. Because at that point, I think you would have to take a hard look at the two corner spots and saying, hey, are we getting better with them? Are we going to re-sign Goldschmidt? Are we going to free up some space for some of these players, Jordan Walker to play third base, whatever the case may be, and what are the returns on those players if we were able to move them? Mm-hmm. I think that would be the sound decision. I felt like that would have been the sound decision last year. A year removed from it, who knows? But I think it just really boils down to how well they're playing when that time comes. If they're within reach, striking distance, I hope they're buyers.
Yeah,
and not sellers.
I do think there's some similarities there between the Blues and the Cardinals. They're two teams that have not had a ton of success recently. They haven't made the playoffs combined now for 3 seasons. We'll see about this year. Could be 4 straight if the Cardinals add to it. I mean, 2 for the Blues, obviously, and then 2 for the Cardinals. But they do have some young, sporadic talent. They do have some aging veterans, and they do obviously need some key pieces. It's where do you add, though? I would love to see this Cardinals group develop young pitching. I would love to see this Blues team develop good young blue liners that they can build from. I think if they were to add to those 2 pieces internally, and they had guys like whether it's Tink Hence or somebody else step in and actually become top of the rotation arms for them, I think that's your quickest way to succeed. It's not through trades. It's not through free agency. It's definitely not through free agency. I think we view it as like this ultimate shortcut. This is the way to do it. No. Free agents should be supplementing what you already have on the roster, adding to it. Quite frankly, I don't think you should spend big on any free agent if you're not there yet as a team. I mentioned this before. Dodgers do it really well. Dodgers are already there. You might as well add now if you can.
But they continue
Braves,
to be
same
there.
deal. Exactly.
So it's like
when you have this window, add to it. It's not when you're a clearer step behind and you're waiting for like your young talent. You need that young talent to emerge first, in my opinion.
I think the biggest question is going to be what they do with Ryan Helsley. He's having a fantastic season, and if they're not in contention, I wonder if they decide to move on from him, because I feel like you could get a lot of good pieces for what he provides.
And then you're going to need a closer. So I would keep him.
I agree. I would like to keep him.
I would keep him. But how far's the gap for your young pitching to come up? If it's not that far, I would keep Helsley. If we're still talking about a year or 2, then can you flip Ryan Helsley for a young pitcher that you can have in the middle of your rotation?
And maybe if you flip him, instead of what they did with Jordan Hicks, you actually decide to bring back Ryan Helsley, and then it's sort of like a win-win.
Well, maybe you trade him to the Giants and they unlock something, and then he's part of their rotation.
Come on.
There it is.
Really?
Nope.
There it is.
Really?
We're doing so good, too.
It was a good day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Ish.
It's always just kind of so-so, let's be honest.
It was a good day. Then somebody farted
and some cereal.
CD cereal. And
Oh, he picked it.
No, you did.
oh, that's right. It was me.
Yeah.
I didn't actually eat the cereal, fellas.
Right.
What? Make sure we are clear. I didn't.
He did.
I had to choose who would I allow.
Yeah.
and then he
Clearly picked the wrong person.
Absolutely no reason either.
For no reason.
Yeah.
It's just hypothetically speaking.
That's an important question.
I don't know that it is.
Yeah.
I don't know that those
I don't know. If
Anthony, at least we know where we stand now.
Very true. Yeah. DLW 1904. Stalter had to go there. What? I did.
Why'd you have to go there?
With
though?
Jordan Hicks?
Yeah. We hadn't talked about Jordan for a couple of days.
Eric says, so move a guy just because? No. I'm just joking. No, I wouldn't move Helsley. I wouldn't. I would keep him. But I would also, have young pitchers in my farm system that at some point are actually ready to be big league pitchers.
Sim Robersa.
And for the Cardinals, not for the Marlins. Or Diamondbacks. Or Giants.
Hints.
Okay.
They got guys.
They do.
And if you've been paying attention.
They do have bodies. I'll give you that. It's Fastlane on 101 ESPN. We have Bet the Board, criticisms, compliments, 3 stars of the day, all coming at you next. Hey, when it comes to finding a new roof, you got to go with my guys, Happy Roof Company. They're fantastic. With spring, it means rain. And if you're dealing with a leaky roof, an old roof, a damaged roof, then you have got to call the Happy Roof Company. Because when you call today, the Happy Roof Company will have someone to look at your issue within 24 hours. So, again, if you're dealing with some sort of issue with your roof, give them a call, 314-665-3001. Maybe you're going to sell your home, or you've been there for a long time. You know that you're going to need a roof, and you need a new one. They, at Happy Roof Company, they've got 10-year labor warranty on all shingle roofs, financing options available. They've got detailed inspection reports that they also give to real estate transactions and real estate agents. So if you are looking to sell your home and you want to make sure that all the paperwork is there, the Happy Roof Company will take care of that for you. They don't chase storms either. 100% of their market is in the St. Louis and surrounding areas, and their headquarters are right there in Sunset Hills. Cost-effective solutions on both flat roofing and metal roofing. They give free estimates with competitive pricing as well. That's the Happy Roof Company. Visit them, thehappyroof.com. Give them a call, 314-665-3001. Tell them Stalter sent you. It's the Happy Roof Company.
Thanks.
If you missed anything from today's show, you can always download the podcast, available at 101ESPN.com or your 101 ESPN mobile app. It's all brought to you, of course, by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Time to bet the board. What do we got for standings there, Marsh?
All right, Anthony, me and you were tied at 8-6. Carey 5-9, Jamie 4-10.
You won again last night, Marsh?
I did. I had Sonny Gray over 5.5 strikeouts. He had 6.
Should have bowed out earlier. All right, Marsh, go.
I'm going to go with Lance Lynn over 5.5 hits given allowed. Or, given allowed. 5.5 hits allowed.
By what inning?
Oh,
well, that's not a part of it.
Oh, I was just asking.
You know what, though? They're plus odds on over 5.5.
Really?
So
I don't really appreciate how you did that, though. Like, you kind of set it up to say that it was going to be a strikeout thing again, like Sonny Gray, and then you crushed Lance Lynn. If you're not all in on the Cardinals, then get out.
Anthony, I've done this before, and it's hit. I'm going to go back to the well.
I just think it's, quite frankly, I think it's disrespectful. Give me the Orioles over 4.5 runs tonight.
You guys.
Because Lance Lynn is on the hill. Over 4.5 runs for the Orioles tonight.
Really? Says on me. All right, give me Jaylen
Cardinals
Brown.
6-5 win.
Oh, there you go. Give me Jaylen Brown to get plus 25 points. Minus 125 there.
Gotcha. Jamie?
Versus the Indiana Pacers, which you say don't play any defense.
They don't.
There you go.
It's optional.
Man.
Yeah.
Jamie, I think Jamie just realized the hockey games start tomorrow night.
I'm ready, Anthony.
Okay, all right. Where are you going?
How about a cup of shut the hell up, okay?
Fair enough. My bad.
I got Paul Goldschmidt for more than 1.5 total bases tonight. I picked him for the home run. That's 4 right there.
I like
Good
that.
for you.
Yeah.
That's good math. You did it all
Thank
by
you,
yourself.
Carey.
Proud
Yeah.
of you.
Oh, hook on the line. I got Brandon in the snake pit. When I was doing the whole, I was giving Marsh crap about his pick. He says the guy that picked Gunner. Oh, then I went with the Orioles. Got him.
Got him.
Fish on the line.
Fish on, baby.
All right, Marsh. What do you got for criticisms and compliments?
Yeah, speaking of our pal Brandon, he texted in saying, CD, I'm calling you out for that. Now, I don't know what you said. This sounds a lot like yesterday.
What did
How
I
could
say?
you say that? You don't
I am
believe.
shocked.
How dare you?
What the hell did I say?
I guess it's up for interpretation again.
I'm going to take that as a positive.
Yeah. What?
He did say you
Why
don't
not?
believe. How dare you?
Yeah. I don't think. Maybe I do. Who knows?
I think we can put context clues together. I think Brandon might be referring to the Cardinals.
What did I say about the Cardinals? That was actually, well, no.
I don't know.
Jamie started off the show we'll see tonight.
No, he never put the glasses on.
He'll start the show off tomorrow.
He got the text last night.
Yeah.
He was all excited about it, then refused to put on the glasses
I
tonight.
ignore the
He'll
text,
get it
first
tonight.
of all. Second of all, I've seen what those glasses do to you guys. I'm not there yet. Anthony, you were talking about it earlier.
He will be.
With Top Gun.
Yeah, started watching it.
That is, hey,
and I turned it off.
you got to stop.
There's no way you
It's
can turn it
ridiculous.
off.
I did turn it off.
Oh, the TV.
What did you think I was talking about?
Clearly.
No, go ahead, Jamie.
I mean, the
What was I
planes
talking about?
and the rockets and
Yeah.
the bombs.
Yeah, it's about planes.
It's not about skydiving, gentlemen.
No, it's not.
Flying fast.
Could be, though.
Could be.
It could be. I mean,
Spoiler alert.
yeah.
I don't think you can jump out of one of those planes, though.
No. Not with having your face ripped off, no.
Could you imagine? The parachute, your clothes, and your face get ripped off all at the same time.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to no.
Not this one.
No, thank you.
Mach 3.
All right. I wouldn't want to fly.
That's awful.
I wouldn't want to ride. I don't.
BT did it at Scott Air Force Base one
Seems like
time.
you would.
I don't like roller coasters. Why in the hell would I get in a small plane and go 400 miles an hour, 5 or whatever it goes?
Because it's fun.
I'm good. You can put that on your bucket list. Let me know how it goes.
I'd do that in a heartbeat.
There you go. You don't have to be strapped onto a guy.
No, but I wonder if I'd still be in the front or in the back. because, there's different spots.
Typically, you'd be in the back. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. I'm in.
Marsh.
Yeah.
You got more there?
Oh, absolutely. This
keep the feet moving on this one, huh?
This one makes sense. From the Water Boy. This show has had a lot of squirrel moments today.
A lot of squirrel moments. Like nutty moments?
Yeah, just like
squirrely.
Nuts.
They do.
Very, very squirrely.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. I know. Well, no, Carey, I know. I told you about him. I mean, this, Jamie, you.
Oh, man. All right.
We got one from UPS Tony. Carey, I went to the Roman Coliseum 2 years ago, and it was amazing.
I gotta go.
Friendly advice, if you do make it there, do not take the guided tour. It takes forever, and boy, is it hot in Rome during the summer.
Okay.
Go off on your own.
All right. Can I go off on my own? I mean, I probably will.
You can go your own way.
Until they get mad.
Go your own way. Congratulations. Congrats. I'll be in your head all night.
No, because I'll just put on something else that's annoying, and then it erases yours.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Then that's in your head.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't want to give you the satisfaction.
Fair. That's fine. You know what? I respect that sort of vengeance.
All right, let's get to our 3 stars of the day. Our third star of the day goes to a guy who hit his first career home run last night, Michael Siani.
Yes,
There's a discussion about him, too. Great
Once
job.
an actor, now the starting center fielder for your St. Louis Cardinals.
Second star of the day goes to farting in cereal.
I don't want to clap for that.
Yes.
That's tough.
That's awful.
Marshy, good job. Carey, you too.
Gross.
I don't like that.
And our first star of the day
Have you tried
goes
it? Never know.
to skydiving with an instructor. Yes.
JB. There you go. All right. That's just good stuff all the way around. Hey, we thank you for listening to this incredible program. I almost said crap program, but
hey,
it was fun. It's been fun today.
We do a great job.
Instant replay from 6 to 6:30. Then we got Celtics Pacers pregame starting at 6:30 for Andrew Marsh, Carey Davis, and Jamie Rivers. I'm Anthony Stalter. We will see you.